wheel. I guess it's I guess it's 7 o'clock. Like right now. So let's do this. Welcome. Order 42. Rob, you, we're here. We're doing the thing. How's it going? Good to see you. Good to see everybody here. Yeah, we've got lots of news. Lots of news to talk about. We've got freaking Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out. It's a good week. Also, hey, apparently I got my results like 2 hours ago from my x-ray. Everything is good except that I have something about the sciatica, the sciatic nerve. The sciatic nerve is distressed and angry and unhappy. So that's now the focus. It's actually the sciatic nerve that's the problem. There were all kinds of questions about what it was, but I gotta be honest though, I've been feeling pretty good the last couple of days, so we'll see how it goes. But hey, how are you guys doing? You guys doing okay? By the way, I did put this in the chat that I hate ads. I don't put any ads on the stream because I feel like it interrupts the show. And I don't want anybody to miss something because of an ad. That being said, I mean, it does, I guess it does pay the bills or whatever, but it's annoying. It's annoying, but it's also annoying when I'm trying to set up the stream and all of these websites either won't work if you put an ad blocker on, or they constantly refresh every time you open it up. So even if you've hidden the ads, they pop back up and it's so annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a couple of things. I'm going to say hi to you guys, individually, one by one, shake hands. I'm not really, you know what I mean? And then we're going to get into the news. But again, I said before, it's one of those things that I should have been thinking about the person who's viewing the show after the fact, because it stays on my channel. And it's like the title of the stream is like, hey, big news about poo. And then I don't talk about it for 2.5 hours. That might be annoying. So we're going to do the news toward the beginning of the show. We've done this the last couple of weeks and it seems to work out okay. But yeah, now I have another reason to do that. And that's because the ads are eating up my processing power on my computer. It's freaking hot as crap outside. I don't know if you saw the Discord, but I like how I can't smile for the Face ID. But this was on my front porch today. I don't know if you saw this on the Discord, but yeah, that was on my front porch. Pretty hot out there. I don't know what it got up to. I think it got up to 102. So, and it said 102 felt like 109. That's too hot. That's too hot. But first up, what's going on? Ricky was first. And then Justin second, but he lost. But, it's okay. It's no big deal. And then KP Cinti said hi. Cosma said hi. Rufus the Red said hi. Seventh is here. 8-Bit Tacos being, I'm just going to say it. Little bit dirty. Little bit dirty to start. Like coming in hot, asking about butt and stuff. But hey, welcome. And Bujo is here too. Bujo, you should hit me up on Discord. Yeah, you should hit me up on Discord. There's news. Just gonna say it. There's news, Bujo. But anyway, hey, how's everybody doing? Let's see. I lost again. No. I hate ads. Yes. Wow. Hi. Thank you, 8-bit tacos. I appreciate that. I didn't know it was going to say it like that. That was kind of funny. Butte. Um. Yeah. Cosmos here. Rufus said butter rum coffee ice cream. Bro, sign me up. I mean, look. Here's the thing. I decided to order from a different place than I normally order from. It's called Lady Liberty's e-liquids. Okay. And they're also known by another name called an advocate for liberty. And they basically, they're big on, fighting for, the rights of people to vape. Fact is, smoking is, pretty unhealthy. Vaping is, I'm just going to say, levels of magnitude safer. It's been proven. It's just a thing. But anyway, so they made a liquid line. I learned about it over on the Grim Green channel, and I ordered some liquid, and they actually gave me a couple of free bottles, which was kind of neat too. But anyway, up on the docket here, look on the chopping block, you guys are gonna pick, and everybody's already putting in their votes. Keep voting. First up, blueberry frosted cereal, an advocate for liberty. Butter rum coffee ice cream, and cream cheese Danish. Now, I will, kind of a spoiler alert for future shows. There are multiple cream cheese Danish flavors. But I figured let's start off with the initial one. I mean, I want to try the initial one first before I try the other ones, just to see what the base is. And then we can layer things on top. And I'm telling you, some of them get a little nuts. So it's going to be interesting. But these are 3 flavors that we've never tried on the channel before. I figured this is a good way to start. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. 7 said, yo, 8-bit tacos, is cheese Danish a euphemism for no? It's not. I mean, look, it's funny, but no. No. And Justin said, good evening, ladies. Hope everyone is having a great week. I'm seeing the Odyssey tonight. Yahoo! Also, everyone please encourage Rufus to stream this week. There you go, Rufus. It's in your court now. It's in your court. And yeah, hey man, I'm excited for you to see the Odyssey, and I can't wait to hear what you think. It's gonna be interesting. And then let's see. No, 8-bit tacos, no nudes, no. And 7th said, counting the days for Spider-Man. I am very excited. I am seeing it tomorrow night at the fan screening. And I'm just gonna warn you, you can't really watch a whole lot of interviews because a dude on the red carpet last night basically let a pretty big spoiler out. And this isn't even a spoiler that I'd even thought about. So it was kind of one of those things where it was like, oh, I wish I didn't hear that. And it just came up in my feed. It wasn't even like something I was actively looking for Spider-Man spoilers, but it's not a huge deal. But at the same time, it's kind of like, kind of wish I didn't know that. So just be careful. Just be careful out there. There's going to be people that love to do that stuff. So anyway, 7 said, counting the days. That's right. Rufus said, shut your butthole, Justin. Hey, he can look, it's America, man. He can say what he wants, but hey, yeah. The nerve of that nerve. Ay. Yeah. Ay. Ay. Whatever you meant, I'm sure it was, yes. And yeah, the nerve. And the important thing is now you know. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. And since I learned of it so late, I just basically asked, okay, that's great. I'm glad we know now exactly what it is. Are there any movements that I should be like? Are there any exercises I should not be doing? Are there any? I've been using heat. It seems to be really working. Continue that, or cold, or what? And then the next thing was, hey, is there any medication that can help with this? because I've been taking Advil and Tylenol like it's going out of style. So let's figure that out. Yes. And Rufus, I'm not gonna read that. I'm just not gonna read that. But yes, I mean 6 minutes, something like that. 5, 6 minutes. But yes, Bucho, hello, good to see you. I mean, this is wait. Oh, there he is. He's right there. I was like, where is he on my stream deck? There he is. That's Bucho, everybody. Welcome to Bucho. Good to see you. And look, I understand some people might be like, why do you have one of Bucho and not anybody else? Well, I don't know. I just do. I just have one. And I also have this.
Somebody's got to buy them.
So there's that. By the way, speaking of somebody's got to buy them, the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale is done. As of Sunday, it is done. But as of Monday, we have a 50% off Arrow sale. And that Jackie Chan set is only $110 on that sale. That's pretty good. And pretty much the cheapest you're going to find any of the brand new Arrow releases over the last however many years. Pretty much the cheapest you're going to see. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be, some outliers, every now and then there'll be a Blu-ray or something that'll go on sale on Amazon or something. But for the most part, it's a pretty good sale. So if you're interested in anything that Arrow did, they just recently released Falling Down. They recently released Excalibur. There's Blue Thunder, which I picked up. There's just a number of great titles that you can get for, half off. That's half off the manufacturer's retail price, which, let's be honest, nobody's selling Excalibur. Nobody's ever selling Excalibur 4K for $60. It's just not happening. I think I got it for $35, but now it's down to $30. So, hey, that's pretty good. I mean, and that's actually the cheapest that I've seen the Jackie Chan breakout hits set. So just a thought, keep it in mind. If it's something that's on your radar, there you go. And yes,
somebody's got to buy them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Somebody's got to buy them. But anyway, let's see. There's Ninjinzu. Welcome, sir. And I apologize for missing out on the stream last night. I heard there was a pretty substantial hangout in your stream last night. I'm sorry I missed it. I was watching a movie. I was watching a movie. It just, as you do. And so everything was kind of like, I was focused. We'll talk about that later. But yeah. 102 what? Oh yeah, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes. That's way more than 101. It is. Squirrels are friends. I mean, except look, I have a little section, a little right above my front door. There's a ledge, and then there's a kind of a big window, kind of a big window there. And honestly, the squirrels like to get up there and do things up there. Yeah. And I was kind of like, okay, you guys can come up there and hang out when it's raining and all that stuff. I get it. It's fine. Get it. I get it. You're trying to stay dry, whatever, right? Give you a little shelter. That's fine. But no screwing on above my door. I don't want that. I actually had to stop some. I banged on the door and was like, hey, y'all knock it off. It just happens sometimes. So anyway, we can't hear what? You can't hear.
Somebody's got to buy them.
You can't hear that? Are you sure? Because it says that
somebody's got to buy them.
Please let me know. Please let me know. You like Liberty Liquids? I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll find it. I'll find out. Does that news happen to involve two of my other favorite gentlemen of DFW whose names rhyme with Barry and Dryan? Maybe. Maybe. Actually. Yeah. We'll talk. We'll talk. I'll send you some liquids. No. No. Well, here's the thing, Seven. I mean, you say you called it. It's something that had been brewing, and I'm like, okay, we keep doing these things, we keep doing all of these different things, but we haven't gotten an actual answer. And of course, my wife was bugging me about that too. So I finally just said, screw it, let's go. So there you go. Cream cheese or bust beat 'em ups. Hello, sir. Good to see you, sir. Welcome. Uh Rufus told me once that he uses a cologne called Danish Delight. Okay. Hey, look. I mean, cream cheese Danish could be good. Could be good. I would give a squirrel mouth to mouth if it meant a new Rufus stream. Wow, Bucho. That's something. That is definitely something. Sorry, I was just looking to see if that orange block was still up there. It is. Spoiler, Spider-Man is in the movie. Yes, Ricky. Yes. But the thing is, look, I'm just gonna let you know, if you're gonna watch my Spider-Man review, you have to know this going in. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Huge. Huge. Love Spider-Man. Okay? Ever since, well, or the early 2000s, I I kind of came around to Spider-Man late. And I told you, the when the Ultimate series from Marvel started coming out, they did Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate X-Men, and I fell in love with both of them. And I'm like, holy crap, these are great. Because what they were, basically, hey, we're going to take all of this lore from the years and years and years that Spider-Man and X-Men have been around, and we're going to basically reboot it, but with current technology, meaning the artwork is going to look a little more vibrant and colorful and new. Not going to have that newspaper look. And we're going to basically retell some of these stories, basically a new canon. And I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And I have a lot of them. In fact, I have most of the X-Men all the way up to like 60 something. And then something, I don't remember what happened with my Spider-Man. I think I actually gave my collections away for Spider-Man. It's not like they're worth anything. They were, once I'd read them, I was like, okay, I'm good. And I think I gave them to a nephew or something. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Cream cheese bust. What? 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 Seven said, I'm going to get booze and hisses, but I picked up the Arrow Clash Wrath of the Titans box set. Dude, again, I've said it 100 times, and it's the truth. You should never, ever, ever have to apologize for what you like. If you like that absolute travesty of a movie, I'm just kidding. I think I've only seen I think I've only seen the new Clash of the Titans. Can't hear the dono. It was through your mic. I wonder why that is. Okay, we're going to test something. Guys, I need your help. Please tell me if you can hear this. Okay?
Built.
Did you hear that? Loud and clear. Good. So apparently it plays through my speakers, but if I have, and because this is a Mac thing, you have to capture audio separately. And every element has its own track. And I had it where it was literally just playing through the speakers, but apparently I had the audio capture turned off. So now we're good. Yay. And no, I never apologized for liking The Last Jedi. No, because hey. Now look. Let's keep this. Hey. We don't want to go into The Last Jedi talk. But there are things wrong with The Last Jedi. A lot. But it is nowhere near the worst Star Wars movie. Like nowhere near, in my opinion. It's somewhere in the middle. That's not bad. For a Star Wars movie, that's not so bad. But I actually like what happened to Luke. But we're not going to go into it because, hey, it's a thing. It's a thing. Okay, let's do the news. Wait, let me get caught up here. Let's see. Can't hear the dono. It's through your mic. I hear everything. Seven said when I was Disney, we had a screened in deck. Squirrels ate through the screen and would sit on your shoulder and let them. Oh no. Because then you won't be able to get rid of them. Because I used to do that. We had a lake lot in Oklahoma, and yeah, we used to do that, and we could not keep them away. And then they would start wrecking crap when you're not out there feeding them, and it's not good. Dutch Dream. Pawpaw's chocolate finger is better than any cream cheese. LOL. I mean, Cosmo, you're not wrong. But maybe you should hit me up on Discord too. And if I was trying to think of what the name is now. Bonobo juice? Yeah. Scat? Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, let's do the news. We're gonna go through this pretty fast. Not like super fast, but fast enough. Okay. The first thing I do want to talk about is this. Yes, Paramount agrees to not close the Warner Brothers Discovery transaction until next year or until the lawsuit merits are resolved. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if I briefly talked about it like last week or whatever, but basically Paramount, Warner Brothers, they're trying to merge. 12 states came together and said, nay, we don't like this for many reasons. The judge looked at the initial stuff and basically came to the conclusion that, well, since it looks like the states are going to win, we're going to have to put a hold on Paramount, this Warner Brothers. We're putting a hold on this thing, which gave them till I think August 3rd to basically say, okay, well, you can present your evidence at that point, but until then, you need to knock it off with the merging. Then Paramount, as you can see, agrees to not close it until next year. Here's the thing. Okay? I've told you this before, but let's just really briefly go over it. I will also say that John Campea on his channel, he is, he dabbled in law back when he was younger. I don't know if I should say that. It's more like he worked for a law firm back in the day. He's got actual knowledge of some of this stuff. And he was talking about today that, yeah, this looks like the death knell for this thing, because on October 1st, Paramount then now has to, if they didn't close the deal by October 1st, they agreed to pay Warner Brothers shareholders $650 million a quarter. That's roughly $6 to $7 million a day they're going to be losing if they don't close it by October 1st. So this means if, let's say it's January 1st, they will be $650 million poorer, and Warner Brothers shareholders will just have that money. I don't know if they can afford that. It's going to be nuts. This whole thing is nuts. One of the things that Campia brought up today was and he's brought it up a couple of times, but basically the idea that, when Paramount merges with Warner Brothers, their debt is then basically accumulated, and it equals roughly $110 billion in debt. Now, the thing is, you have to pay that back. That debt is something that you have to pay back. And now Paramount is considered a junk stock. So the interest rates they're going to be getting are going to be very high. It's ridiculous. This whole thing is just insane. I can't believe that this is still even a thing. I think Paramount agreed to do this so that before October 1st, the news will probably come out and they say, we've decided not to move forward with the Warner Brothers merger. Doesn't look good. This whole thing doesn't look good. And guess what? Some people are happy about it. Some Warner Brothers execs are hoping that the state's antitrust lawsuit derails the Paramount deal. And I would not be surprised if maybe Mr. Zaslav is one of them. The whole thing, at its current state, if Paramount does not close the deal, they have to pay Warner Brothers a breakup deal. $7 billion. This thing is just costing way too much. Can I just have $1 billion? You know what? Just $1 million. Give me $1 million and I'll be good. Thanks. But yeah, so this thing is really kind of shaping up to be wow. I don't even see how you can move forward with this. I don't see how any company can move forward with this. But the thing is you've got Paramount in debt, trading as junk stock. Warner Brothers has been in debt, but is doing better. But then when you merge the two, it's really Paramount is going to be the parent company. And this is very, very much in debt. It's just, I don't see how they can move forward with this. I just really can't. So we'll see what happens going forward. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that other than it's not looking good for the merger, which is great news for me because I'm a huge Warner Brothers fan. I'm a huge Warner Brothers, I buy a lot of Warner Brothers product. Their classics are great. Their Warner Archive collection is great. This is good news to me. But it's not all, well, in my opinion, this is good news. But there's some more news, some box office news. I don't know if you saw this, but The Odyssey, in its second weekend, made over $90 million in its second weekend. That's more than Oppenheimer made in its first weekend. This is nuts. And they still have China to open up nearly 800 screens. Look, I knew Odyssey was going to be pretty big. I mean, when you pre-sale IMAX screenings a year in advance and they sell out in minutes, yeah, you kind of had the idea that maybe the Odyssey was going to do okay. I'm kind of shocked at all this. I'm kind of shocked that this is as insane as it is. Now, if you saw my review, you heard my thoughts. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Is it the best movie ever? No. Is it my favorite Christopher Nolan movie? No. Is it worth seeing in a theater? Hell yes. This is the kind of movie that most people are looking for when they're like, I'm so tired of everything looking so plasticky and it looks like they're on a green screen, blah, 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 blah. This is the kind of movie that you should be supporting because this is the kind of movie that, I mean, it literally looks like a movie made years ago. Like so many location shoots. I mean, it's a beautifully made movie. I don't think the story actually came together, and I have a theory on this. The movie, and again, you guys, some people are probably like, oh my God, The Odyssey was just the most amazing thing ever. And some people are like, nah, some people like giving it a 1 out of 10 on IMDb, but whatever. We don't count those. At least I don't. Because I can't see you giving a 1 out of 10 to that when, Bigfoot versus DB Cooper exists. But anyway, the movie is 3 hours long. a little under 3 hours. Why is it under 3 hours? Well, IMAX platters, where the film actually goes onto the platter, it can't support more than 3 hours. So I think that's why Christopher Nolan said, look, it's got to be under 3 hours. Now, I think a side effect of that is I don't think it flowed that well. I think that it felt like there were some connective tissue that was missing. Now, you could say, well, that means that it would be 30 minutes longer or whatever, right? However much longer it is. But my thing is like, man, there are times when you need some of that stuff for it to hit, for it to really hit. And of course, there's a lot of people that the Odyssey worked perfectly fine for. But for me, it took me a while to get into the movie. And I'm wondering if it's because they had to cut some stuff out to make room for that 3 hour runtime, And maybe there was a 3.5 hour cut that works much better. I don't know. We don't know yet. But that's just a thing. It's my thing. It's my idea. I'm just going to say, yeah, I liked it. And I definitely think that you should see it in the theater. If you have any interest in seeing it, then you should support it because so much of it is done practically. There are so many times in the movie when I'm sitting there going, I don't understand what I'm looking at. Like, I don't know how you did this. That's impressive stuff for somebody who's seen thousands and thousands of movies. It's very impressive. This day and age, it's very impressive. But, okay, wait. Let's take a break for a second. And I'm going to pull this up and make sure that it loads correctly. Oh, look. Yeah, get out of here. It's so annoying. All right. All right. Okay. All right. You're going to do that? Okay. The first thing I want to talk about, or the next thing I want to talk about, is Comic-Con. There's a lot of things that got announced at Comic-Con. A lot of things that were really cool to see at Comic-Con. Of course, we knew that Spaceballs 2 was coming. Rick Moranis got this huge ovation for his return to movies. Very excited about Spaceballs 2. But one of the biggest things outside of the Marvel panel, that would have been bad. Outside of the Marvel panel was, look at that. It did that. Sorry. Was this, the Lanterns trailer. Now, I'm a comic book nerd. I do love my comic books. But Green Lantern is something I never really liked. Of course, I like Batman, but when it came to DC, I was not really familiar with a lot of stuff. But a few years ago, there was a DC sale on animated films. I think I've told you about it. I think I got like 20, it was a ridiculous amount of money, usually, but it went down on, the sale price was ridiculous. And so I got basically a deal on all these animated movies. And so I was able to watch a lot of these animated films. And one of them was Green Lantern. Actually, like 2 or 3 of them were Green Lantern. And I learned about Green Lantern. And then I read some comics. And I am now a fan of Green Lantern. So when I heard they were making a Lanterns TV show, I was like, that's interesting. This is kind of a big story. And then I saw who they cast, Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre. And I'm like, a spot on casting. Like, I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped for this story. I don't know what it is, but I'm pumped for it. And it seemed like every single trailer that they released got better and better and better. This last trailer, I am 100% in. I want to see this show. Premieres August 16th, just a couple of weeks away. I'm super pumped. I mean, yeah, we've got Spider-Man to look forward to. But on TV, this is one I'm definitely looking forward to. Oh, and by the way, have y'all been watching House of the Dragon? Because that's a good show. That's a really good show. But anyway, Lanterns looks great. I'm pumped. And I hope you are too. And then, of course, there was the Marvel panel. Now, I know not everybody's into Marvel, but about, I don't know, just a few hours before the panel, um, something got leaked. And I saw it. And I went, hmm, that's interesting. But then they announced it. And I was like, okay, I guess that's a thing. Ryan Gosling is going to be playing Ghost Rider. I don't think of Ghost Rider as like an integral part of Marvel. Like I always thought of him as like a side character, you know? It just I never really I don't know. But man, they must have some plans if you've got Ryan Gosling planned to be Ghost Rider. And it's going to be directed by Sean Levy, who also directed Deadpool and Wolverine. Now here's the funny thing. Sean Levy is also the director of Starfighter for Star Wars, starring Ryan Gosling. So this kind of makes me excited about Starfighter, is that they must like that movie so much that they said, let's give him another movie to do over at Marvel too. So this is good news. Now, you might say, in fact, if Wood was still here, which I don't think he is, but if he is, I hope he is. But if he is, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. But you might say, hey, didn't they give Rian Johnson a trilogy before Last Jedi came out? Weren't they really excited about The Last Jedi and then it comes out and basically divides the audience? Yes, that's true. That is true. And Starfighter might end up being Le Poop, as they say in France. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, who knows? All I know is I have been a Ryan Gosling fan for a very, very long time. And I like this. I think this is cool. I think this could be really cool. So there you go. There's Ghost Rider. And then there was the Doomsday panel. Now, the Doomsday panel, there's a lot of weird things that happen at Marvel H or in Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if you heard about it. There were a lot of people that were waiting in line for like almost 2 days, like a long time. They got their wristbands to get in, and then like 500 of these people could not get into Hall H to see the thing. So you basically waste 2 days of Comic-Con standing in line, and then you don't get to go in there. I mean, it sucks, right? So Comic-Con's got to figure out their crap. That's for sure. But the Doomsday, I gotta say, the Doomsday thing was a little bit underwhelming. But there was this that, Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds shows up at the panel and asks if there's any room for Deadpool in any of the reshoots. I mean, it's pretty obvious that he's probably going to be in the movie somewhere, right? I mean, come on. He's going to be in Doomsday. But one of the other things that was really cool, and I don't know if you saw this, but this was before the panel. He was walking around Comic-Con dressed as Deadpool in this, well, it's just kind of funny. These, this almost looks like a jean, like blue jean type thing, except it's not blue jeans, it's gray jeans or jean gray. Anyway, interesting. But yeah, he just basically went around and took pictures with fans. And they didn't seem to know that it was Ryan Reynolds. And I just think that's cool. It's kind of like when a few years ago, Bryan Cranston was walking around in a Walter White mask and taking pictures with fans, but it was actually him. It was actually, it's like, I love that stuff, and it's one of those things that you can feel the, I don't know, the love for Comic-Con, the love for, the fandom. And I just think that's really freaking cool. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like Ryan Reynolds for whatever reason. I get it. I understand, but I just think that's cool. I just think that's cool. So anyway, yeah, Doomsday is happening. And I think that if Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out and makes as much money as they're saying it's going to make, Doomsday is going to make, I mean, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it might get close to like $150. It's going to make some money. So anyway, of course it's going to make a ton of money. Who knows? Who knows if it can beat Endgame or anything like that? Oh, by the way, that was another thing. They're doing Avengers Endgame Encore, which is supposedly like some additional footage, probably cut out from Doomsday. That's gonna be an encore, and they're gonna theatrically release it September 25th. That's a thing, and yeah, I'll probably go see it because I'm a nerd and I like that stuff. I like to know all the little things. But again, it's a thing. But then the final thing of the Marvel panel that was, I'm not going to say it was a shock because we knew that they were going to make a Black Panther 3. But what we didn't know was that they'd already cast for the basically T'Challa's replacement. It's going to be his son, played by David Johnson. Now, if you hadn't seen Alien Romulus, he's one of the best parts of Alien Romulus. If you haven't seen The Long Walk, well, he's one of the best parts of The Long Walk. I think this is pitch perfect casting. Like, absolutely perfect casting. And I think David Johnson's going to kill it. It's going to be awesome. Now, the only problem was, well, we'll get into it. Other than, I did watch Wakanda Forever this week for the first time. Never got around to watching it. In fact, there's a couple of Marvel stuff that I haven't seen, and then I'm just kind of like throwing them in there every now and then. It was all right. But anyway, I think this is awesome news. David Johnson going to be Black Panther. I couldn't be like, that's like the perfect. It's kind of like if you could picture somebody that could be the replacement for Chadwick Boseman, a current actor of a certain age, this is perfect. And I actually saw some people, I'm actually going to close all of these to save because it's Hollywood Reporter, most of all, that has so many ads. Anyway, sorry. I mean, look. There are so many different ways that you can go with Black Panther, especially considering what is coming with Doomsday and Secret Wars, which, according to Kevin Feige, is not a reset, but who knows? But this is supposedly going to come out in 2028 after Secret Wars comes out. So, and that's actually kind of weird too, if you think about it. So we're going to have what we have this year for Marvel. We have Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out this week. Hopefully going to be great, all that kind of stuff. Then, sometime in the fall, I'm not exactly sure when, but we're getting Vision Quest, which is a story about Vision. And it's, the show is being showrun by Terry Matalas. And apparently, there's been a lot of people that have already seen it and said, it's fantastic. Looking forward to that. Of course, I'm looking forward to that. I love Paul Bettany. I think he's a great actor. It's going to be fun. Then you've got Avengers Doomsday. And then the next Marvel project that I know of is Secret Wars that comes out the following Christmas. So next year, Christmas time. It's kind of weird that there's not going to be any other Marvel stuff. Now, I'm sure there's probably going to be some surprise shows or whatever, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, so there you go. That's the news. And we got through it pretty quick. But if you guys want to talk about any of that, we can. I wanted to get through it so that if somebody wants to just watch the news, they can just watch the news and then they can go on with their lives. So, and I would actually, look, I know that everybody asks for likes, comments, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. But I'm a very, very small channel. Okay. I don't care about the ad revenue or whatever, watch time. I don't care. But I would like to hear from you. If you're genuinely a fan of this stuff, and you're not here in the live chat, I like hearing from people and I like discussing things with people in the comment section. If you look at all of my videos, I reply to at least, I mean, almost every comment, if not like 95% of the comments. I think I do a pretty good job. It's one of my favorite things. I love interacting with anybody watching my stuff. So feel free. And it's cool. It's fun. I like that stuff. I like a they. So anyway, why don't we get caught up in the chat, and then we'll see which liquid you guys picked. Again, blueberry frosted cereal, butter rum coffee ice cream, cream cheese Danish, and right now there's a two-way tie for first between blueberry frosted cereal and cream cheese Danish. There's 14 votes. Come on, guys. Do we need to have a vote off? Because we will. We will. So somebody's got to break the tie. So I hope you do. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you think. Paramount, Warner Brothers, do you care? You probably, I mean, most people, I got to be honest, most people probably don't give a rat's ass what happens between Paramount and Warner Brothers. But if you're a fan of movies, it should concern you that basically one studio is going to have two studios worth there's no way that they can do two studios worth of content with one. It's just not going to happen. So no matter what happens, Warner Brothers stuff is going to be possibly affected. Mostly, yes. What? I just don't want Warner Brothers to suffer because Paramount is run by the Ellisons. I don't want that to happen. Let Warner Brothers, please. Everybody heard the chime. It was like that last stream too. Well, why didn't you say something? I'm just kidding. It's okay. Now it's fixed. It's on its own track. So now going forward, there should not be a problem hearing the stuff. In fact, I'll play this. Why didn't that show up? You can hear it, but where? What?
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Okay, that's so weird. So the member stuff works. The subscribing ones don't, but then the super chats work. Dude, I've given up trying to figure out what the hell Streamlabs is doing. Come on, Streamlabs, get it together. Anyway. Let's see. Ozma heard it too. Good. I don't mind that Rob likes The Last Jedi. I mean, it's no Clash of the Titans remake, but the thing is, look, I get it. When somebody says they don't like The Last Jedi, I can understand. But when, it's I take a really, I've said this before, but this was Sam Witwer, right? He's the voice he was Starkiller in the Force Unleashed games. He went on to voice Darth Maul. He actually voiced some of the Emperor in the Clone Wars and stuff like that. I mean, sometimes you had, actual Ian McDiarmid do his thing or whatever. But anyway, Sam Witwer's done a lot of stuff for Star Wars. He's been in Star Wars stuff a long time. When he says that someone didn't do their homework or someone doesn't know enough about Star Wars to make The Last Jedi, I'm like, I'm sorry. That's an opinion. Because in my opinion, Luke, the whole idea of the Force, of The Last Jedi, and failure and all that stuff is exactly what Lucas was all about. I mean, he may have had problems with some of the stuff too, but I guarantee you he was nodding his head when Luke was talking about the Force. Oh man, I loved it. And I actually like what they did with Luke. It spoke to me. A guy who was at the top of his game became a legend and then made himself fade into obscurity because he thought he was the reason for all of this stuff to going bad. I don't know. I liked it. And then he redeemed himself. He totally redeemed himself. Oh, he used the force too hard. Okay. You're not, if you think that, you're not paying attention. They actually explain that in the movie. But whatever, I don't care. And the thing is I don't blame people. If somebody says, I only saw the movie once because I didn't like it. Guess what? That's the way with Rise of Skywalker was with me. Of course, I did watch it twice. I soldiered through a second time when I got that big Blu-ray set, 4K set. I watched it again just because I wanted to see the visuals and was sitting there going, man, this movie looks beautiful. Like, this is a gorgeous film. It's just too bad that the story sucks. And I haven't watched it since. So I get it. I understand. But there are things you missed. Sorry, but there are things you missed. Stafalk said, I ordered something, Rob. It's a GPD Win 5. You should look it up. I think I know what it is. Because I'm pretty sure I said, oh my God, that's expensive. Wow. That's crazy. Wow, man. Wow. I mean, hey, good luck. Good luck with that. That's a lot of freaking holy crap. Wow. Do you really need 64 gigs of RAM in that? I don't know about that. Considering I have 64 gigs in my iMac, I don't know if you need. Look, I'm not gonna make any judgments because I don't know. But that's pretty cool, Ricky. Pretty cool. Odyssey was dope, but it was a 7 out of 10. I mean, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. So Ninjinzu, you and I are pretty close. I mean, it was cool. Like, there were a lot of things I liked about it, but I just wish I would have gotten into the story sooner. And yeah, it looked beautiful. Troy came out in 2004, pre-ordered the 4K, which is part of the Arrow. It doesn't come out for a couple of weeks, I think. I could be wrong. I'm not sure when the Troy 4K comes out from Arrow, but they did the it's in 4K. You've got the original cut and the director's cut. I do want to pick that up eventually. And yeah, Troy has more CG than the Odyssey does, which is kind of crazy to think about. I saw the original cut of Troy and was like, meh. So I kind of want to pick it up because I want to see the director's cut. I kind of want to see the director's cut first though, because I don't know. I just don't know if it's going to be that good enough for me to buy, because I've said this before, and this is, controversial, possibly. You guys can chime in on this idea if you want. But I've gotten to the point where I don't want to buy just anything. I'm looking for legacy type movies, like movies that are important for some reason. In a lot of cases, that's like the Criterion collection. Like, I'll pick up some Criterions here and there because those have been almost vetted to be something of importance. You know what I mean? But like newer releases, as far as like brand new movies coming out, like they just announced the of course the Obsession one, but there's like movies that are okay, Sinners, One Battle After Another. Those are two of my favorite movies from last year. I love those movies. I don't know if I need them on 4K disc right now. I didn't love them so much that I want to see them over and over again. If I want to watch them again, I probably can just watch them on HBO Max. Because here's the thing. When I'm buying, I like special features. And most new releases of movies don't have a lot of special features on them. The best releases are the ones that are legacy. You know, they're 10, 15, 20 years old, the movies are, or more. And in that case, you get interviews with some of the people that worked on it, and they can tell you stories about the stuff that went wrong or whatever. And it's that kind of stuff that I really, really enjoy. This fluff EPK type stuff where it's basically like, oh, we worked hard on the movie, and you know what? We enjoyed working together, blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff was filmed before the movie came out. They don't know how good the movie is, how good the movie ended up. They don't know what the legacy of that movie is. Did it last more than, I mean, how many movies have come out in the last 5 years that you don't even remember when they came out? You don't even remember seeing them. They're like, they were good movies, but you don't think about them or talk about them anymore. They're those kinds of movies that just don't latch on to, you know, they're not legacy movies is probably the not a good title, but more of like movies that'll last, movies that will speak to people across time. You know, like Citizen Kane is a movie that I understand. When people say they don't like it, I understand. But man, that story is still effective today. If you can get into the story and you can allow yourself to get into the movie and the storytelling, it's a good movie today. Not every movie that came out in 1941 is going to be that way. Some of them are going to be kind of meh. Like, I mean, I can probably point to some of these movies over here. Okay. Bulletproof Monk. When's the last time you thought about Bulletproof Monk? Nah. I think Bullet Train is going to be one of those too. But like, I'm looking. Okay, here's a great one. Down with Love. Peyton Reed directed. It's got Renee Zellweger, and it's got Ewan McGregor in it. I love that movie. That movie was great. I haven't thought about it in years. It didn't catch on. It as good as it was, it wasn't like one of those movies that you just go back to over and over and over again. It just wasn't. So that's the kind of thing. It's like, yeah, you can watch the little making of and it's like, oh, that was kind of cool, but it's so fluffy and there's not any depth to it. What's really interesting are the stories from behind the scenes. You know, like I know I talk about Blade Runner a lot, but that's the kind of movie, that 4K and the Blu-ray, oh my God, there's so much great stuff on there. And they don't shy away from telling you, you know, from them saying, the actors and the people that worked on it, talking about how hard of a shoot it was, how some people didn't get along. And it's just, that's interesting stuff. You don't get that in an EPK that was shot before they even finished filming the movie. Because of course you're going to say everything, you know, of course, I love working with this director. He's great. Oh, I love working with this co-star. You know, it's just, you're just not going to get the same kind of content. And so I prefer movies that are a little older. So those are the ones I'm going to start collecting more and more. Now, I mean, every now and then there's going to be a movie that's like, okay, I got to have that. Project Hail Mary is a movie that I need on disc. I need it. It's just, it was that good of a movie to me. I know it's not for everybody. There's some people that like it. Some people don't. I love the movie and I want that disc. So there you go. But like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another movie that, okay, Backrooms. I liked Backrooms a lot. Do I need it on my shelf? Not right now. Maybe 10 years from now, 15 years from now, if I'm still around. Hopefully, you know, hey, look, you never know. These days, you never know. Okay. But all I'm saying is, yeah, I don't need a 4K release of Backrooms right now. Do I want to watch it again? Sure. I'll watch it again if it's on a streaming thing. But the kind of stuff that I want for my collection is stuff that's already stood the test of time. I should probably stop talking about that. Anyway. Seven said Batman Nightfall looks amazing. Is that an animated thing? I'll be honest, the Nightfall series, I have the collected graphic novels really just the collected editions of both Nightfall and Night Quest. Is that what it's called? Whatever the second one is. It's all right. So the story itself is kind of like eh. But then again, animated, it can really do a number on the story, and it can make it better. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but I'll be interested to check it out. Nick Cage is the only Ghost Rider for me. You know what, Ricky? You know what's funny? I've never seen the Ghost Rider movies. I saw trailers for them, and I'm like, that looks cheesy. So yeah, Ghost Rider to me has never been something that made me go, oh yeah, I want to see that. So I don't know. We'll see. Ghost Rider ties in heavily to the Midnight Suns, which ties to Blade and the Darkhold storyline they used in Doctor Strange 2. Well, and that's the other one. That's the other one that's kind of left out there dangling. Is, are they ever going to get around to making Blade? I don't honestly think they're going to. I think at this point, they're probably like, we're probably done at this point. So we'll see. Are you kidding me? A three-way tie? A three-way tie. Wow. A three-way tie for the Liquids. Come on, guys. Rufus said, imagine not liking Ryan Reynolds. Well, the thing is, Rufus, I know a guy who worked with a guy that worked with Ryan Reynolds. And that person, not a fan. And that he changed over time. I don't know anything about that. It's another reason why it's like, okay, I'm not going to throw Leon under the bus or anything, but I'll just say he has opinions on some actors I like. And sometimes I hear those things and I'm like, but it shouldn't affect me. What should affect me is the product. It's the final product. That's what I care about. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of authors over the years that if this is, a classic book of whatever, and it turns out, oh yeah, he used to punch baby goats in the face daily. And you're like, well, God, what a butthole. But man, he wrote a great book. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, what do you judge people on? Do you judge them on the quality of their character or the product that they produced? Because honestly, in most cases, I'm never going to interact with that as a person. I'm never going to interact with that person. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, it depends on what they did, and I get that too. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, I can concentrate on the quality of their work. Again, it's not 100% across the board. Okay? I mean, I don't know that many people defending Bill Cosby these days. I mean, that's just an example. Okay? And I get it. I understand if you're like, I can't watch anything Bill Cosby anymore. I get it. I get it. There's people that can't watch anything Kevin Spacey anymore. I get that too. But there is a part where it's like, in some cases, we should judge them on the quality of their work. For example, Mark Wahlberg. Can't stand him. I don't like the guy. I think he's an absolute ass. But guess what? He's been in some movies that I'm like, I want to see that. And I'm gonna, So anyway, I get the Ryan Reynolds thing. And I also get what Justin said. Ryan Reynolds is amazing when he acts like Ryan Reynolds in every single movie. I get that. But you can also say that about multiple actors out there. And most actors don't get that chance to really spread their wings. There are certain actors that are cast because of their performance in this movie. They're like, well, what we need in this role is kind of a Ryan Reynolds kind of character. Well, why don't we just get Ryan Reynolds? If they can afford him, why not just get Ryan Reynolds? So I understand that. And I can understand not liking him. But like I've heard some stories, like behind the scenes stories. And I don't care. I mean, I take that in and yeah, that's interesting. And that, I mean, if that happened, that kind of sucks. But honestly, the fact is, I see what he did. You remember when he was playing Green Lantern? There is, I mean, we could look it up, but I'm sure it would get claimed by somebody. I don't play video clips on this show anymore because of that. It just completely ruined it. You know, when somebody can claim my entire 3 hour stream for a minute's worth of video, it turns you off, you know, and you're just like, okay, well, I'm not doing that anymore. Anyway, there's a clip from when Green Lantern was coming out. Ryan Reynolds was at Comic-Con up on the, you know, doing the panel or whatever, and this kid came up and asked him if he could say the Green Lantern pledge or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it is. You know, the Green Lantern's light thing. And it's like the whole room disappeared and he focused on that kid, and it was just like, it was a beautiful thing. And that's the kind of thing that kid will grow up thinking of that. Like, you just made that kid's life. Like, you gave that kid a story for the rest of his life. Anybody who was walking Comic-Con and took a picture, oh, I'm taking a picture with Deadpool. Isn't that funny? And then it turns out it was actually Ryan Reynolds. That's the kind of stuff that makes lasting impressions. And it's the kind of thing that makes fans out of regular folks. And I love that stuff, man. I love that. It's the power of fandom, and it's the power of connection. And that's one of those things where I get when somebody says, I don't like it when Ryan Reynolds said this thing, or I don't get when so-and-so said this thing. I understand. It sucks, you know, and maybe you don't agree with that. But there are very few actors that do that kind of stuff. And yeah, you could say, well, he just did it for the press. Well, I gotta tell you, it worked, because I saw that video and I saw people's reactions to that video, like the people that were taking photos with him. You can't fake that. So, I don't know. I thought it was cool. Anyway, we'll move on. We'll move on. Sorry. It is kind of funny though. Rufus says, imagine not like Ryan Reynolds, and Stopfalk said, I don't have to imagine it. That's fine. He was awesome in The Long Walk. That ending, man, what a gut punch. Yeah. Look, man, that guy is gonna be great. And The Long Walk was it's a good book, but the book ends in a very, I don't even want to say the way the book ends, even though it's different than the movie. The book ends in a certain way, and I was expecting that ending. Didn't know that they'd changed anything. I was just watching the movie and was sitting there going, okay, yeah, they combined some characters, and they removed a whole set of different speaking parts and kind of combined some characters, and they took out some other ones. They moved past some things, but man, for the most part, this is a really, really good adaptation. And then they get to the end, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize they were going to do that. Wow. It's a good ending. Excuse me. I really liked it. And that's one of those where I blind bought the 4K Steelbook because it was on sale. It was cheaper than the standard edition. And I pre-ordered it, and I said, screw it. I'm just going to pre-order. And I pre-ordered it, and without having seen it, and holy crap, I'm excited. Like, I was so excited that it was a really good movie. So there you go. That first few minutes of the memoir to T'Challa, it was the best part of the movie. Ninjinzu, you're not wrong. I mean, yeah, I'm spoiling a little bit of the future stuff, but yeah, I did watch, like I said, I watched Wakanda Forever the first time. I was, by the time it came up, Marvel Studios, I was like bawling. Because, man, Chadwick brought so much to that role and made me absolutely fall in love with Chadwick Boseman. Like, I thought he was great. Watched some of his other movies and was like, man, this guy's good. Like, this is one of those actors that you're just like, dude, what an amazing career this guy's gonna have. And then seeing some of the stuff, I mean, talk about stuff he did with fans. And of course, yeah, they're gonna film some of that stuff. But man, some of the stuff he did with fans was just like, dude, this guy is so awesome. I love this guy. This guy's so great. And yeah, losing him that young, man, it sucks. And honestly, it was bookended. like bawling at the beginning and then bawling at the end. But the middle, I was kind of like, I mean, some of this is kind of cool, and some of it's just kind of like, can we move this along, please? It didn't quite work. Now, again, the no telling where they were, when Chadwick's unfortunate death, and then they had to repivot and they had to change the script and they had to do all these different things, reshoots and whatever. I mean, I do not envy them at all. And for what they had to go through to get that movie done, amazing. But it's just overall, the movie was just kind of like, But anyway. They should have cast Kathy Bates as Black Panther. I don't think so. Oh, and by the way, love Angela Bassett. After Strange Days, I know. Okay. But Strange Days to me is one of those movies that it's every year there's a movie that just sticks out to me and it just says, this is the best movie of the year for me. This is the best movie. Strange Days is that movie for me. 1995, that movie is the best movie. I love it. Catherine Bigelow, her direction is great. Ray Fiennes, it made me realize that Ray Fiennes is a holy crap fantastic actor. Angela Bassett, I was like, wow. Wow. She is gorgeous in that movie, and like in every way, like hot in every way. I love that movie, man. I love it so much. Juliette Lewis, man. But then you've got my guy, one of my favorite. Seriously, it's one of those things that to me is a crime that this man didn't have a bigger career in Hollywood. Michael Wincott. Why is that man not in everything? He's one of the most charismatic people I've ever seen on screen. He is so good. And in Strange Days, he plays a different part than you've usually seen from him. Wow. And he's got one of my favorite lines in the history of cinema. Paranoia is just reality on a finer scale. Philo Gant. Dude, love that movie. Love that movie so much. And of course you've got, Tom Sizemore, which, talk about somebody who had problems. But I think he's great in it. Juliette Lewis, like I said, is good in it. I love that movie. And written by James Cameron. But anyway. I love Kathy, but no. Yeah, Kathy Bates, no. The odds of one of the 11 of you getting the reference is so slim. Brave comedy. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but there you go. The Paramount Warner Brothers merger has been blamed for the cancellation of Evil, which is a stupendous show. So yeah, I very much care. Well, there are so many things that would go. Again, the fact that Paramount stock is considered junk stock now, which means they're not going to be able to get good interest rates, which means their budgets are not going to be that high. Now you said, okay, we're sinking. Let's also grab this other studio and make it a part of us. And yet they're in debt too, but they, unlike Paramount, had an amazing year last year. Amazing year. Sinners, One Battle After Another, Final Destination. I mean, seriously, look through their release schedule. They broke records. Warner Brothers had an amazing year last year. Paramount has had not a great anything in a while. Top Gun Maverick was their last big one. And it's just like, And yes, Jerome the Great. Yes, Oracle. And Oracle has lost billions of dollars this year too. So it's just like all around, it's like, why is this a good thing? And not once has anybody said, you know what? We want to make great movies. Warner Brothers, like us and Warner Brothers, we're going to make great movies together. Has anybody from Paramount said that? I don't know. I just don't get it. Rufus said, I think Warner Brothers is too much a part of the culture. The government should buy it and let underprivileged inner city kids make Batman and Bugs Bunny movies using AI. Okay, that's exactly opposite of what's going on. I don't think that's an idea. But the government's never gonna buy a studio. Never. Uh See if subscribers is farther down your list of sources than the others. I found in OBS things below your camera mic don't pop correctly. No, it's not that, because this is basically a brand new installation of OBS, because remember I rebuilt my computer. So no, there's literally a Streamlabs. The way that it works on Mac now is that there is a Streamlabs source. Now, what I wonder though, because I saw something as I was messing around earlier. Okay. I don't know if you heard that. What's weird is I don't see subscriptions in the list of, oh no, it says subscribers. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I keep hitting the button. Okay, it's got. Did that actually come up? It's got the same URL, which means that anything that comes through that URL should show up on screen, and there's no reason for one to show up and not the other. So I don't know what's going on there, but it doesn't matter because I don't really care. I mean, it's not that I don't care. You know what I mean? Okay. Would you please? I haven't changed anything. Can you please? Oh my God. I am not a fan of Streamlabs. Okay. I don't want you screwing anything up, Streamlabs. Damn. There went a third of my credit card. Oh. Yeah. Sorry, man, but wow. You know, that was pretty substantial. Just gonna say. Because holy crap. Hey, I have a donation button on Twitch if you feel like just tossing bread to the wind. Hey. I mean, why not? Head over to Ninjinzu, and they added the sale on 4K on the Arrow sale. Buy it, Rob. I am not buying anything right now. Again, if I'm not buying that Jackie Chan set, the sell, a movie I've never seen, I'm not going to buy that either. Not right now. But man, I've been close. I've been close a couple of times and been like, oh man, I want to get that. But I just can't make myself do it. It's just because I got things to plan for, you know, especially getting a new computer, which is going to be faster and better and all that kind of stuff. I want that before I want the sell on 4K. I appreciate it, Justin, but not right now. Maybe another time. Or if the cell was streaming somewhere and I could actually watch it and see if it's something I really want to keep on my collection. Fast and the Furious talks to people and is a great movie today still, and it started a whole generation of car customization and games. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just, for me, it's not, you know. Yeah. Justin said, I regret buying the Blu-ray Blade Runner that I just did. I really need to bite the bullet, buy a 4K player and get the better version you mentioned. Well, here's the thing though. Well, it depends on which version you got. Because the one that I have, the Blu-ray, let me get it. This one. 5-disc complete collector's edition on Blu-ray. This is the one to get. Now, I mean, they actually have like the suitcase edition, and it's basically this, but it also has, you know, it has stuff in it. I've seen them on eBay multiple times, but this is the one because you get the final cut. You get oh, there you go. Dangerous Days, Making Blade Runner. Very important. Disc 3 has the US theatrical cut, the international theatrical cut, and the director's cut. And then over here you have the enhancement archive and the work print. So there's literally 5 different versions of the movie in this set on multiple discs. This is what made me love Blade Runner, is this release. Now I have the 4K, And the 4K is just the final cut, isn't it? I have the 4K over there. Okay, I'll get it. Nobody asked for it, but yep, it's the final cut. So here is my Film Vault collection or set of Blade Runner. Okay, can you get off, please? Can you please get off? Get off. Get off. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Yeah, so this is a different company called the Film Vault. This is the first one that they did. Film Vault is cool. I'm just gonna say not quite worth the money. This is my opinion. But this is what comes in it. You take the slip off, which is kind of neat. And then on the back, you get, this is a very nice box. Okay. Very, very nice box. Okay. Very, very nice. Opens up like so. And it says, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe, right? That whole thing. And then a little ribbon, which comes with your cards, all your art cards. Seen here. All your art cards. You get, inside, you get this thing. Oop, there you go. And inside here, you get, oh, this is a weird, it's got a slip cover, which is interesting. And then this opens up like so. And then like so. So you've got the 4K regular disc over here. And then you've got the Blu-ray. And I think all the special features are on that. But it's only the final cut. So only one cut of the movie, right? So you get that. You get the lobby cards. Let me put this back in here. Try not to screw everything up. And then you also get this. Here, how about on the front of a 3DS? And you can actually read it. So Blade Runner, the final cut, 554 of 3000. It is a piece of whatever this is, and it's printed on the back. It's cool. It's neat. But this is really heavy, and it tore the box. When I got this, it was torn. You see it's torn right here? And that was actually behind this. I mean, it's just not a very well-made set. And of course, this is cool, and it's got the stuff. It's got the blueprint and the stuff, but I never look at that. I just want to watch the movie. Because all the cool stuff is cool, but how often are you going to look at that? See? You can actually hear it moving around in there. So even though this was a really cool set, this is going for like tons of money on eBay and stuff. But my guess is theirs isn't torn. The box isn't torn. Honestly, I'd rather just buy a standard 4K of Blade Runner. Because that's all I really care about. I've got all the special features and versions of the movie I could ever want. But I love Blade Runner. Anyway, let's see. It's my credit card, LOL. That purchase took up a whole 1/3 of my credit card, so I got to pay that off now before I use it again. Yeah, I understand. Like I said, and the thing is I only have about $450 saved up right now, and I'm going to need a lot more for the replacement of this computer. So we'll see what happens when we get there. So liquid mixing time already? I want to at least get caught up here. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to do this. I'm refreshing. I'm refreshing the chat. And wherever the break is, where it says, welcome to live chat, remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. As soon as I hit that, it's time to do our thing. I watched Catcher Block, Ladies Man, Man's Man, Man About Town, Waiting for Revenge of the Sith. Good movie. What? Frodus Boy, welcome, sir. Good to see you. I don't trust Ryan Reynolds. He's going to take over the world. You heard it here first. I mean, I don't know. I like Ryan Reynolds just fine. And I started watching him. It was weird when I watched Dick last week with Kirsten Dunst. But in early, like, I'd never seen Ryan Reynolds look that young, and it was kind of weird. It was like, wow, he's kind of homely. He actually looks better. He's one of those actors that got better looking as he got older, if that makes any sense. And maybe you could say the same thing about me. Maybe not, though. It's fine. It's fine. Baby goats deserve to be punched. I stand by that. They're all hopping around, you know, hopping off of like sheep's backs and stuff. And they're all like, get off me. He's all like, ha ha, I'm doing this. Leonard 6, Part 6 on 4K, Hold Me Back. That movie is god awful. That is one of the worst. I mean, if somebody said, hey, I'm going to give Leonard Part 6 a 1 out of 10 on IMDb, I'd be like, okay, I couldn't question that. It's a terrible movie. But when somebody says, man, The Odyssey is a 1 out of 10, I'm like, okay, number one, you don't know how to judge anything. Number two, you probably need to see more movies. Number three, you need to learn what levels are, you know? It's like when everything is only the best or the worst, you're basically condemning yourself to just terrible, terrible stuff. I see Bob Michaels in here. Audio just went away. No audio. Anybody having problems with audio? Video and audio out of sync. I show 0 drop frames. And everything is good here. Stream health says good. I don't see any issues. So I would say refresh. Because there's nothing wrong on my end that I can see. But if that is my dad, hey, welcome. And Jody B, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Lou said, sup, Rob. Have to say, I watched Sheep Detectives, and it was good. Really good movie. Had a lot of heart. It really did, didn't it? I'll tell you, man, that movie is one of those movies that deals with grief in a way that is so beautiful and so heartfelt that I just was like, man, how can you not like that movie? You know, how could someone not like this? I loved it so much. It was so good. You ever see The Voices with Ryan Reynolds? No, Jerome, I haven't. Is it good? I'll tell you if you're, and again, I understand if there are certain actors that you're like, and no, I get that. But he did a movie called Buried that is some of the best acting I've ever seen him do, and honestly is up there with some of the best performances I've ever seen. I mean, is it the top 3? No, but it's up there. It's in the conversation. It's a very, very good performance, and I was really impressed with him in that movie. So there you go. Also at the end when they're, yes, oh my God, Ninjinzu, yes, absolutely. Again, Wakanda Forever had moments of brilliance, but overall I was kind of like, Robert German, welcome, sir. I saw that they're re-releasing the Transformers movie, and there is something new after the credits. Very excite. It's weird. I don't know if you've heard. Again, and I understand it's probably weird for me to reference other people's streams when it comes, especially when other people's movie streams. But I do watch the John Campea show pretty regularly, and he talked about Transformers the movie, and it kind of made me look at it in a new way. In a way, like, because it's been so long since I've seen Transformers the movie. When he was talking about it, the more I was kind of like, wow, that's a great point. And it really is kind of cynical, and it's kind of weird, and it made me go, wow, you're kind of, I mean, look, I don't 100% agree, but I kind of see your point. So yeah, you could probably do a search and find that, because I wouldn't do it justice, because I don't have the passion that he has for it. But he hates the Transformers the movie. There are things in that movie that are awesome. Orson Welles as Unicron, holy crap, his voice is so cool, so cool. Ah, so cool. But the movie overall is kind of like, it's fine, but I don't have, it's weird because that came out right in the middle of my big Transformers love. But then after that came out, the show changed so much. Though, like, the feeling of the show changed so much that I kind of got out of Transformers at that point. So in a weird way, Transformers the movie was kind of my breaking point. Like, I still watched it. I still liked it. I had the VHS clamshell, if you can believe that. I don't know if I still have it or not. I'm pretty positive I got rid of it, but I don't know. I think I might still have it. I don't know. I might still have it. I don't know. And I'm talking about the old clamshells. You know what I'm talking about? The old Disney clamshells, big thick plastic. You know what I mean? Yeah, I had one of those, but I haven't bought it since. In fact, I've almost bought it a couple of times, and then I go, I saw it so many times back then. I don't care. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I get it. I understand it. If you have nostalgia for it, go for it. It's just for me. Book-ended balls, LOL. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Book-ended balls. What book was I talking about? I'm not sure. A line from King's Dead on the Black Panther soundtrack, which is the hip-hop with the Crow soundtrack, was the 90s alt-rock. Ah. Gotcha. Cool. I actually like the Black Panther soundtrack. No on the Chansat. Here's the thing. It's not a no. It's a, I just can't justify it right now. Left and came back. Everything is good. Thank you, sir. I didn't know you were going to be joining the stream, but welcome. It's good to see you. But yeah, it's not that I don't like the Jackie Chan set, or don't have any interest in it. It's just that, man, that's a lot of money to spend right now when I'm trying to actively save for the next computer. And on top of that, there's a big set coming out at the end of the year that I really want to see, or that I really want, and that's that Kubrick set. And I know, man, there's been available so many times. I only own a couple of those movies, 4K, and I want that set because it's cool. It's the same reason why I waited on buying a lot of Wes Anderson movies, and I'm actually glad, because the Wes Anderson set is awesome. But anyway, I've seen things oh, there you go. There you go. That's exactly what Chris, yep. Blade Runner's so good. And yes, Chris, it is. But see, that's the weird thing, is that that's a movie that the first time I saw it, I was like, okay, I understand. I understand why people like this. Not for me. It's not for me. I don't like it. But this, I'm telling you, I spent however long it took, and I watched each and every version, I think I started with the US theatrical cut, and then I watched the international cut, then I watched the director's cut, which was, I think probably most people saw Blade Runner the first time in that the snapper cases, the snapper DVD case. That's what kind of started the Blade Runner kind of phenomenon, was in 1997 when they released the Blade Runner director's cut on DVD in the snapper cases. I think you know what I'm talking about. But then I watched all three of those. Then I watched the work print, and then I watched the final cut. And to me, the final cut is the best of everything. And it's amazing. It's great. But you put on any of them, like there's the ones with narration, the ones without narration. I don't care. I just think the movie's great, and I love it, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful movie. How very strange for you to be talking about this is I'm literally checking out my new sheep furry waifu in Neverness to Everness. Okay. I think it's time, on that note, let's see what won. Blueberry frosted cereal. I didn't think that was going to happen. But 21 votes, 48% of the people said blueberry frosted cereal. So I'm going to end the poll. We're going to shake it up a little bit because I've never gotten liquid from this company before. It smells like something else. I think maybe in shipping, maybe there was some liquid on the outside of one of the bottles. I don't know. But strangely enough, the one that won, blueberry frosted cereal. This one, I didn't order this. This one was one of the first ones, or the extra. Yeah. So we're about to go. Oh hell yeah! It's on here. So let's open this up. I gotta say, I may not be 100% on board with the red bottle, but who cares, really? Whoa, whoa, just whoa, okay, just whoa. That is like we want to sock blueberry in the like a big like a pantyhose filled with blueberries just smacked in your face. That's what that smells like. So here we go. Literally right now. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Blueberry. Does anybody know blueberry? There's Count Chocula. There's Frankenberry. Frankenberry, you know. Frankenberry. There's Fruit Brute. I've never tried Fruit Brute. In fact, I don't think I've ever tried. No, I've tried Frankenberry. But I've never tried Booberry, which is the little ghost, you know? And he's all like, ooh, I'm a ghost and I look kind of high. Isn't that what Booberry looks like? Like, doesn't he look kind of high? Let me see. Yeah, I mean, of course they've done some updates, but yeah, look at him. He's like, hey, what's up, man? Anybody want some Booberry? Yeah, man. That's what that looks like to me. I didn't mean to hit it again, but there you go. I'll tell you that off the nuck, it tastes, it's very, very blueberry, but there's an element of oat cereal. Like there's a cereal element, but it's also, it's weird. It's not a candied blueberry. It's more of like a regular blueberry, but with sweetener in it. So this is going to be interesting. This is what it's going in. 2 wonderfully made coils, 2 wonderful wicked coils. I got to turn this puppy on. 75 watts. There you go. And yeah, it smells intense. So this is going to be really interesting because again, I didn't order this. But I thought, you know what? I don't know if we've ever tried a blueberry cereal ever on this channel. So yeah, got that side. It's all soaked in. Ooh. I dropped some liquid down the side, but it got all. It's okay. Okay, so now Huh? Ooh, a little bit of explosion there. Whoa. So anyway, tank goes on. Screw it down. And then now what's weird is this is something that I've had to start doing. You can see that it looks like there's like condensation or something in there. I have to, when I'm taking this apart and cleaning it, I have to do this now because I keep breaking glass. So I'm basically lubing up the O-ring. Talk about a euphemism for something. But anyway, I'm lubing up the O-ring to get the glass back on there without cracking the glass. But it's VG, which is just, it's VG. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to change the flavor. But bleh, there it goes inside. Catch up on the other side and out the other air hole. It's filled. Okay. Top on. My O-ring wrinkled up a bit. Yeah. So anyway, let's give it a try while we get caught up in the chat there. Do the thing. Yeah. We kind of need an off the nuck. I mean, we've already got, we've got this now. Right? But we also kind of need an off the nuck emote, don't we? Don't we? Excuse me. Don't we? Maybe. Crisis Charlie, welcome. Good to see you. Where do you get your salts and kits? Well, first of all, I don't do salt. This is all regular nicotine e-liquids. There's nothing salt about it. There's no this is literally nicotine vaping, but it's not salt nicotine. I unfortunately cannot talk about that on YouTube because there is a rule that says that any vape product, you cannot mention where you got it. Like you can't mention websites, you can't mention how much things are. You can't and you can't do that. So honestly, as far as hardware goes, I mean, I don't even know. I can't even tell you where I bought this stuff because these are years old. Like everything that I own is from years ago now. And because I do rebuilding, I don't do like some manufacturers will do like sub-ohm tanks, and those tanks will have coils that you can take in and out. These are coils that were, I built this tank and then rewicked it myself. And so a lot of the stuff is just, it's kind of DIY. So there are definitely places online where you can buy some of this stuff, especially the rebuildables, which is what I do. But yeah, I can't talk about that because YouTube doesn't like it. So I apologize. But if you're a member of the Discord, I'll just say that there is a section all about that. So if you're interested, there you go. But yeah, Lady Liberty e-liquids. I didn't actually talk about what this tasted like, and honestly, I can't remember what it tasted like. So let's take another vape and let's see. Let's see how it is. Okay, let's see how it is. Everybody, calm down. Oh, and by the way, Crisis Charlie, if you are interested, I mean, the Discord, I can definitely hook you up with an invite to the Discord, but you have to email me, unfortunately. Order42show gmail.com. You can email me and ask for a Discord link, and I'll send you a Discord link. But we've had so much spam lately that I had to close it off, and it's invite only. But anybody, that goes for you too. Anybody watching that wants to be a part of the Discord and isn't, just let me know. I'll send you an invite. But yeah, they're not open anymore because, man, we had all kinds of spam. Okay, let's talk about the liquid. The liquid is... Okay. I'm going to say something that Mr. Grim Green says a lot. It's a little bit throaty. There's a little bit of a lot of e-liquids are, when you vape them, you don't feel anything in the throat. It's very smooth, almost like you're just breathing air. But when you smoked cigarettes back in the day, at least, I mean, it's been, I don't know, 10 years since I've smoked a cigarette, a long time anyway. Um, when you would, inhale and breathe in, you would get that little, almost like itchy burn in the back of your throat as you inhaled. But vaping isn't, a lot of vaping isn't like that. Some vaping is. Some people like that. And it's one of the things that help them stay off of smoking, is because the feeling of vaping wasn't different than the way that it was when they were smoking. I hope that makes sense. Of course, there were different flavors and all kinds of stuff, but the act was similar. But I vape very differently than I smoke. When before it was mouth to lung, right? So you bring it into your mouth, you kind of suck it into your mouth. I know. And then you inhale. With this, I'm literally just breathing it in. And so it's a different feeling already than the way that I used to smoke. With this, there's that burn when I inhale, and I'm not a huge fan. I got to say, I'm not a huge fan of the throat hit, is what they call it, throat hit. Like for example, this one was one of the ones from JMW, the blueberry, I can't remember, blueberry cake or whatever it was from JMW that we tried a few weeks ago. Still have some of that. Zero throat hit. This one has a bit of a, it almost makes you want to cough. But it could be one of those things that goes away after a while. So, I mean, we'll see. It says 3 milligram on it. But you can also see that this is more handmade. This isn't as like factory kind of, it's more handmade. It's more what would you call it? Not rustic, but I think you get what I'm saying. It's not like this manufactured thing. But there's something about this. So, a little bit of cough. I'm going to say this. The flavor's good. But it doesn't really remind me of cereal. There is a hint of an oaty kind of flavor. Because I mean, if you think about it, right? You got your Fruit Loops, you got your Apple Jacks, you got your, Boo Berry, your Count Chocula, your Frankenberry, whatever. You've got that oat flavor. That oat flavor is always there. But then there's the kind of the frosting on top. This says blueberry frosted cereal, right? That's what I was thinking. But it could be that this is more of a Frosted Flakes with blueberries in it. Like fresh blueberries and like on top, right? That's a little more. I mean, let me take one more. The sweetness, it tastes like, but it doesn't taste like Frosted Flakes and blueberries. It tastes almost like sweet oaty, but with like a blueberry syrup almost. It's not bad. But I gotta say, the throat hit's kind of getting to me. Excellent flavor though. Like excellent flavor, and it actually is giving me a little bit of a buzz. And it may be because I hadn't vaped in I haven't really vaped in like 2 hours. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. So far, I gotta say, Lady Liberty makes some good stuff. Now again, that sounds so far off the beaten path. Butter, rum, coffee, ice cream. Dude, that could be amazing, but we'll see. we'll try out something next week. Okay? So there you go. Blueberry frosted cereal. It's one you picked. I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Hey, little throaty. Little throaty, but you know, it's all right. Seven said, I've had two movies that I rewatched recently that I strongly disliked when I originally saw them, and now my opinion has changed. Star Trek Nemesis and King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Did you know that Leon worked on King Arthur, Legend of the Sword? Kind of neat. I have not seen either one of those. And it's mainly because like all the next generation Star Trek films, I want to see them really bad. Like I want to like stop the stream and go in there and start watching them because I love the next generation so much. I want to see the movies. And I heard the movies aren't as good as the show, but I still want to see the movies. But April also wants to see the movies. She hasn't seen, I think the only one that she's seen is First Contact. So she wants me to wait until we can watch them together. So it's going to have to wait. But the King Arthur actually is one of those where I love King Arthur. I mean, come on. So I need to see that at some point. But I just haven't gotten around to it. You sounded like James Rolfe when he does his stoner voice. But I mean, that's honestly, I think that's what happens to anybody. Is that, you know, you can be talking and then all of a sudden, you know, when it's starting to kick in because your throat closes up a bit and you just kind of start talking like this, man. And you're just kind of like, whoa. And then you start talking. I don't know if you're talking slow or not. That's one of those things that, you know, when you're under the influence, who knows? Like I kind of wish that back in the day when I'm not going to say that I was super crazy with the weed, but I did my fair share. I would have liked to have recorded myself to hear myself talking. Like, did I sound like I sounded in my head where I'm like, dude, can you believe that the freaking stars are like, they're so far away, man? You know, like, did I actually sound like that? Or did I was just talking normal and that's what I heard? I don't know. It's weird. I've also had this thought where, like, what if my brain, like, goes to sleep and, like, to me, I'm just talking. But in reality, I paused for, like, 20 seconds. Like, you wouldn't know it. Because to you, you just keep on going. But what if? Like, what if I just, in the middle of me talking, and I didn't know I did that? You know what I mean? Like, I've always thought that kind of stuff. It's weird. Anyway, the snozberries taste like snozberries. Gonna have to turn the fan on. The fan is on, and I don't see any haze around my lights, so I think we're good. I took some pretty big rips, but it's all right. Whoa, man. Yeah. But for real, can we talk about how big of a POS Grandpa Joe was? Lazy ass staying in bed all day till Charlie pulled that golden ticket. I mean, you're not wrong. And the thing is, that's one of those things where I didn't realize how people felt about that until the internet became a thing. And then all of a sudden people were like, F Grandpa Joe. And I'm like, wow, I'd never really thought about that before. And I'd seen that movie, I mean, not hundreds of times, but a lot of times. And never once thought that it was weird or saw it from anybody else's perspective that, hey, why all of a sudden now you get to go to see Willy Wonka? You're going to hop out of that bed. Where you been, Mr. Dancing the Jig? What happened to that? You know, while Charlie's mom is off, you know, doing laundry for pennies, you know, all that stuff, right? I never once thought about that. That's kind of funny. Yes, we need one. Okay, we'll try to see if I don't even know how many. Like, I don't know how many. What do you call them? I don't know how many emotes I'm allowed. How many do I have? Okay, wait. I screwed up. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have the Do the Thing. I have That Boy's Got the Devil in Him. I've got Mother effing 21B with hearts all around him. I've got me looking very upset and more about like, I can't believe you guys are doing that, and it's supposed to be an animated GIF file, whatever you want to say. I would say GIF, I think. But anyway, and then I've also got the flying Rob that you guys made, and then the ooh face. These are the emotes that I have. I don't know how many I'm supposed to be able to have. I don't know. I don't know. Ninjinzu said he hopped out of bed with those crusty socks with quickness, right? You set off the nuck, and my dog sat up and started growling like, "What is this dark wizardry?" Oops. Sorry. And yeah, all about them rebuildables, man. They're the best. Because you get to control everything, you know? That's really what it comes down to. You get to control shit. Sorry, I said a bad word. But you get to control it. Okay, that still works. Okay, good. I closed the window. Sorry. And my fan's still going off. I don't know why. I think that's how you spell what I said, Ricky. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. My last 3 vape flavors have been pretty throaty. I feel like that's, but see, some people like that. And some people want that. They don't like it too smooth. Like, that's the thing. Like, this JMW liquid, this blueberry, excuse me, is not throaty at all. In fact, my acai that I make, not throaty at all. I think it's just certain flavors just have a little bit of throat in them. And I'm not trying to be dirty or whatever. I'm just saying it has a little bit of that burn, that itchiness that honestly I don't really like, because I like to just be able to just, of course, that's probably why I've set the smoke alarms off multiple times in my house, is because I'm just sitting there going like Bucho. Hey Bucho, you're probably busy doing stuff. You may not even have me on the background, but Bucho knows, because Bucho and I were doing a podcast with Hope and Chris. Yeah, we were doing a podcast with Hope and Chris, and we were sitting there talking and recording. Everybody was recording, and all of a sudden, they're talking about something, and I'm sitting there listening. And I'm thinking, and I'm sitting there, and I'm vaping, and I'm not even thinking about, because of course I wasn't on camera, so I was just sitting here vaping away like nothing's nothing, because I'm muted. Nobody can hear me vaping. I'm not being disruptive or anything, except for the fact that my freaking smoke alarm starts going off. And then I'm like, oh my God. And they're like, holy crap, what's going on? I'm like, my smoke alarm's going off. Why? Because I vape too much. It's a thing. It happens. You got to be careful, man. You got to be careful. In fact, there's been multiple times. I don't remember when this was, but we got new smoke alarms. And there was once, it was during the wintertime. And, you know, in the wintertime, when it's all like, it's chilly in the house, you know, we've got the heat off. It's probably like 63 in the house. I mean, it's pretty chilly in the house, you know? And I go in there and I take a nice hot shower, and the steam is like, oh man, it's great. It's great. It's great shower time. I opened the door and all the steam came out and set off the smoke alarm. And I'm like, why is steam setting off the smoke alarm? The old smoke alarms didn't do that. This one would. So I got to be careful. I got to make sure I'm like, if I do that, if I take a super hot shower and then open the door, I got to close that door really quick or it'll set off the smoke alarm. Sucks. Yeah, I did that once at like 1 a.m. April's trying to sleep. Yeah. So. Willy Wonka walks a tightrope from children movie and Stephen King horror movie. It's such an odd film. It's an odd story, really. But yeah, man, it's so good. And they're doing if you look that up, I think Fathom Entertainment, right? That does all the like classic movie stuff. They are showing Willy Wonka in the theater. And I think the wife would like to go see that, cuz she grew up with that movie too. I'm kind of like, it's fine. If you want to go, we'll go. But, you know, for me, like I missed out on Terminator 2 because I completely forgot about it. But the one that I'm really looking forward to toward the end of the year is the Maltese Falcon. Dude, 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 I got to see that. So, who can make the sunrise? Sprinkle it with dew. Yeah, good stuff, man. The Candyman can. It's so weird too. I watched more of the last half of the movie, the Willy Wonka stuff. And then like I remember years later I watched the whole movie from start to finish and was like, I don't even remember this beginning part. Like, cheer up, Charlie, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't remember this. And it's because I mainly just watched the Willy Wonka stuff. But there you go. There you go. It's just a thing. It's weird. Nemesis is one of the very early Tom Hardy performances. Yes, he plays the villain. That said, I hated Star Trek Insurrection in the theater and still hate it. Well, like I said, I don't even know what the order is, but I still want to see him because it's like I do love those characters, and I think even the worst, it'll still be kind of fun just to. It's kind of like the X-Files movies. Like I don't think they're that good, but I can still watch them because I love Mulder and Scully. Here's an interesting question for you guys. When it comes to a movie or a series or whatever, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's TV, whatever. What's the most important thing? Story or character? I have my answer, but I'm honestly, in fact, let's do a poll. Screw it. That's what this stuff is for, man. What? Oh, that's weird. Poll up in the chat. What's more important to you in a movie or TV show? Characters or story? I would love to know. I would love to know in general. I mean, there's how many? There's what is there? 14 people in here right now. Oh, stream is healthy. Thank you. Yeah, 14 people. So we'll, you know, we'll wait till we get some votes. We have 6 at currently 7. Let's see. Do I sound like that? You have never seen me unmedicated. I need to smoke. No, no, but like I know that at least in my head, that's the way that I used to sound. Like I'd be all like, man, like this, and my throat would tighten up, you know, and I'd be talking. It's almost like I'm not breathing in all the way, and I'm only talking with the throat, and I'd be talking like this, man, you know. That's the way that I would talk. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like if you're used to that, I'm sure that you'd probably shed yourself of that. And especially if you're like I need some level of whatever in my system to feel normal. Otherwise anxiety or whatever. I would think that you would probably not sound like that. But I don't know. I've never done like there would never be like for me it was never a thing where it would be like I'd constantly have to be high or whatever to be able to do things. It would just I would do it every now and then, you know. It would be like when people are like, "Hey man, let's go get drunk or let's go party, let's go to a bar or whatever." No, it'd be like, "Hey, let's go smoke." You know? That's what it was like. That was what we did. But yeah. Um yeah, I don't know. Lou said, kids are just walking through levels of Chocolate Factory, watching kid after kid die these horrible deaths, and none of them stop and say, what the F, man? We get picked off one by one. I don't know if I mean, none of them died, right? Augustus Gloop didn't die. I got a blueberry for a daughter. She didn't die. And even, you know, I want it now. That chick, Veruca Salt, she didn't die. And he even says at the end, Willy Wonka's like, he's like, yeah, they just went back to their horrible lives because they're all pieces of crap, these kids. But you and Mike TV, he was all little tiny and stuff. Hey man, let me go. You know, hey, yeah, we got them all sorted out, and they're back to their normal crappy selves. So I never thought they died, but of course I only watched the end, pretty much. Is that all of them, or am I missing one? Augustus, Violet, you're turning violet, Violet. And then I love that he's like, I'm gonna get to you if the last thing I ever do. I got a blueberry for a daughter. I love the way his voice changes. It's funny. And then it's Veruca, and then it's Mike TV, right? So there's 4 of them. Isn't that right? And then Charlie. Is this 5? Is that it? Am I missing one? I don't know. I got a blueberry. Why am I doing that? I don't know. I thought you were doing Dice Clay with it. Nah, I'll tell you this. Andrew Dice Clay was one of those comedians that I could never get on board with. I never thought he was funny. Never. Like, there is not one single solitary joke that he ever told. And honestly, it wasn't a whole lot of jokes. Oh, no. Get out of here. I'm sorry. And Mr. Clay Dice, if you're watching right now, I apologize for being so harsh, but I hated your stand-up back in the day. I could not stand it. I thought it was absolutely awful. It was a shtick. And once that shtick got old, where'd you go? I'm sorry. It wasn't my thing. It just wasn't my thing. Okay? Just wasn't my thing. I don't know why I went off on Dice Clay so bad, but it's just, hey, it's just a thing. I can vape all day, huge draws, nothing. But every time I fry up pork chops, smoke alarms on both floors go off. See, but that may be what, like, your depending on the age of your smoke alarms, because we had them, and these were installed in the house. They didn't have batteries, like batteries you change every 6 months, a year, or whatever. They weren't like that. They had lithium-ion batteries in them, and they lasted like 10 years. So we're nearing the point where we're going to have to replace all these again, and they're going to start doing that annoying chirp thing. And we've already had to replace one. So it's like, okay, I think we need to think about what are we going to do? I'd almost rather do the thing where it's like, okay, let's just buy battery-based alarms and just replace the batteries every 6 to 8 months. You know, set an alarm on the phone and say, hey, today's the day. It's alarm battery changing day. Because I hate that chirp with the fire of 1,000 suns. I can't stand it. So, I don't know. But maybe you just don't have the, because there's 2, I can't remember. I did the research, and it was like, hey, this smoke alarm set came with like 5 or 6 of them or something like that. And it was like, this smoke alarm set does this and that and this and that. And we were like, oh, well, that's a good deal. Let's get that. And then now I can't take a shower without the smoke alarm going off, or I have to be careful. Close the door. Generations First Contact, Insurrection Nemesis. Oh, okay. Oh, the 6th one is called The Undiscovered Country. And then there's Generations. Got it. I didn't see Generations, but I think I saw parts of First Contact. I think I put a little too much liquid on the coils because it's spitting liquid everywhere. And maybe that was part of the throatiness, was that they were too wet. Because that on that hit, I didn't get that much. I mean, it's still there a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad. Interesting. Okay. So, well, I think all the people that are going to vote voted. 7 votes. 71% say characters, 29% say story. See, I think like I said, I have my thought on it. I actually think that characters are the most important thing. I used to think plot was the most important thing. But now I realize that it's the characters, because it's the characters that help drive the story. For example, and this was actually a thing. The reason that I brought that up is because they were talking about that on the Campy show today. It was a question that came up that said, what do you value most? And he said character, because I was sitting there the whole time he's reading the question. I'm like, it's character, because a good character alleviates some of the faults of a story. If you like hanging out with the character, there are many X-Files episodes that are not great. Terrible stories, not great direction, the effects are bad, whatever. But the fact that you love Mulder and Scully and you love to see that interaction, that drives you through. He brought up Supernatural, which I've never seen a single solitary episode of Supernatural. Not even seen, I've seen like a clip here and there online, but I've never watched a lot of Supernatural at all. But I hear it's the kind of show that I'd probably like. But anyway, that's another situation where even through there's apparently seasons that are kind of like overarching stories. So like this whole season is about this. And even on the weak seasons, you still like the show because you like the characters. And I think the characters is the most important thing. And what I'm focusing on with my story is I'm really focused on the characters and making them, I'm making the likable characters likable and the unlikable characters unlikable. But hopefully there's a through point where, like, there's like, and again, who knows how this is going to turn out. But like right now, I don't have a weak part of the story. Now, the problem is, what if I get through the end and I'm like, this is only 150 pages. That's not long enough. And I don't want to cut to get down to like short story length. I would rather expand it. I think it's at that point where you kind of have to go, okay, I got to be careful not to bore the reader with side stories and BS. I don't know. But anyway, I like it to be 50-50, really. Star Fox, you're not wrong. A good balance is perfect, right? But who knows, man? I still say that I would rather great characters than a great story with. But see, the weird thing is there are definitely situations or definitely movies that I can think of where the story was really good, but the characters were kind of one note, or the characters were kind of almost like archetype type characters that are just like, oh, this one's the angry one, this one's the one that has a problem with guns, and this one's the one that has, whatever. They all have their thing, but they're not all super fleshed out. I mean, honestly, a lot of war movies are like that, where it's mostly about the plot and less about the characters. I mean, sometimes you get some character moments, like Saving Private Ryan. There's plenty of character moments that drive you through, but for the most part, like, do you know the name of Giovanni Ribisi's character in Saving Private Ryan? I don't. I don't. I don't know. I saw that movie many times. I don't remember his character's name. I know he was the doctor. That was about it. But anyway, it's a weird thing though. It's an interesting question about what people value. And it sounds like 71% of you said characters, 29% of you said story. So it's kind of interesting. Actually, Bucho said number 3, story, number 2, character, number 1, nudity. Which, okay. Sean 420 said, that's my PlayStation. I don't know what that, I mean, I've heard it before, but I honestly don't know what that means. Is that weird? Or is that bad? I'm a fake gamer. I don't know. I would never, in fact, I don't think I was ever really a gamer. I was always a movie guy. I don't know. A lot of the movies I like just have nice characters more than a deep, amazing story. I mean, it's weird. it's a really weird and it's a balance, right? Because or I mean, but the weird thing is that like you can have, and that's why to me actors are so important, because actors can take something that's on the page and make more of it and make them feel more real in their actions and the way that they, interact with other characters. I love the idea that um a lot of the great characters, like really really great characters, the most that you learn about them is by what other characters say about that character, and it's like that's what informs you on, on that, because then you're like, well, this person says, you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting, but I don't know. Seinfeld proves story doesn't matter as much as a good cast of characters. Yeah. Don't you still have a 4-year-old weed pen? I do. It's still sitting there. Is it 4 years old? Packaged in February of 2023. And that's, I probably bought it in the summer or the fall of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I don't know when I bought it. This was years ago. Bought it with Billy back at the Rip It. No. No. We don't need that kind of street, okay? We don't need that. You ever watch the video on YouTube where an ER doctor broke down Home Alone 2 accidents, tallying how many times characters would die? It's pretty funny. No, but I think I've seen, I don't know. The first thing I thought was, no, I don't know. But I thought I saw something where, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I'll tell you this. And this might, hey, look, this might be one of those things that may make you go, I am unsubscribing right now. I've never been a huge fan of the Home Alone movies. Now, you have to think that I'm probably older than most of you. I mean, some of you, I know some of you are around my age, but a lot of you are much younger than me. And you grew up in a different time. But like, I remember Billy really liked Home Alone. But I'm like, and then when last Christmas, when we were all kind of hanging out, Wood was talking about how much he loved Home Alone 2. And I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen it. Like, I don't think I've ever seen it. But the thing is, a lot of that stuff came out, like that came out when I was in high school already. I already was like, I want to see the, the rated R films and the blah, blah, blah. I don't care about these family Christmas. Screw that, So, I don't know. I'm not a fan of a stand-up either. That being said, I have Adventures of Ford Fairlane on Blu-ray. Watch it annually. Never saw it. That's one of those where it's like I saw him and I said, I ain't watching that because I don't care. I've never liked him. But it's weird because I don't wonder enough to care that much. But it's like, I remember when I was almost bit the inside of my cheek. When I was younger, George Carlin wasn't that funny to me. But as I've gotten older, it's like, holy crap, George Carlin was seeing into the future. And it's creepy and kind of awesome. George Carlin is an amazing comedian, but Dice has never struck me as like likable on any level. So it's like, I don't know. Home Alone 2 is brutal. I felt bad as a kid by the ending. I couldn't tell you. We also, when we were at Woods for Friendsgiving, we watched a couple of movies. We watched the Minecraft movie. mostly as a joke, but I watched like probably 5-10 minutes of it. Didn't watch a whole lot of it, but I watched like 5-10 minutes of it, and I'm like, this isn't terrible. Like, this isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like, cringe. I was watching it going, this is kind of okay. I don't know. I still haven't watched the whole thing. But then we watched, I know we watched, did we watch Back to the Future 1 and 2? But then I think on Thanksgiving Day, they put on, the Lord of the Rings, which, dude, I mean, you want to make me happy? Pop on Lord of the Rings and just say, hey, just chill if you want, or you can come do this or whatever. But when you're done, you can go sit back down and watch Lord of the Rings. I'm like, hell yeah, it was awesome. But then we watched War of the Worlds. Yeah, the Ice Cube one. Again, as a meme. And I think in fact, I think Wood took a picture of me falling asleep in the middle of it. But what I saw of it was effing horrible. So there you go. How many dog shit horror story plots were carried by characters like Jason and Freddy? I mean, you're not wrong. And that's the weird thing is that, like, I've said it before. It's like, I'm not a slasher guy. I've never liked slasher movies. So Halloween, never a fan. Friday the 13th, I tried. I actually thought the first one was actually a pretty good movie. But then when 2 started, I was about 30 minutes in, and I'm like, I give up. I get why people like it, but it is not for me. I don't like these kinds of movies. It's not fun. These characters are stupid, and I can't. But I will also say that Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one, is so freaking good. It's so good. But I remember trying to watch 2 and I couldn't get into it. Tried to watch 3, couldn't get into it. And I know I've seen bits and pieces of maybe all of them, but I've never really gotten into the sequels. But the first one is really good. And I actually liked Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Is that the one where is that the one with the kid? You know, that kid that was in like Kindergarten Cop and stuff? Because I think I remember liking that one. Thinking that one's not bad. But I didn't watch the rest of them. I don't know. Supernatural seasons 1 through 5 are top tier. After that, it becomes a different show, but still has moments of genius sprinkled throughout. Yeah. That's what I've heard. I've heard it's a good show. I just never gotten around to watching it. We were talking about it in the last after show too. You mentioned a writer who says bad storytellers focus on creating complex plots. Good storytellers focus on creating complex characters. Yeah. And it really made me go, yeah, character is definitely more important. I mean, sure, have a good plot. And man, I'm going to tell you, okay? I'm not going to tell you the plot. But man, the plot that I've come up with for my story is dense. There's a lot going on. But the way that I'm hoping that the way that I tell it doesn't make you feel it. You know what I mean? That you don't sit there and go, wow, there's a lot going on in this. No. Because what I want to do, and it's going to take a lot of planning, but I want this big crazy plot idea that I have, I want it to take place over a series of stories. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because honestly, there's a part of me that says, I don't know if this story needs that. But we'll see. If the story is bad, the characters are just floating in dookie. I mean, you're right. But at the same time, like I said, I will watch any X-Files episode you put in front of me. Any of them. Okay, maybe not like seasons 8 and 9, which were really 7, 8, and 9 really are kind of hit and miss. Because I like, what's her name? Annabeth Gish. Is that her name? I just came up with that name. I don't know if that's right. And Robert Patrick. I just remember when they were on the show, it was kind of like, this show's not that good. And then, Scully would come up every now and then, say something almost like sage-like, and then would disappear for a few episodes, and then Mulder would showed up like at the very end of the series. Yeah, but for the most part, yeah, I'll watch pretty much any X-Files episode because I love those characters. That's my PlayStation's Game Chaser reference. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, that's the weird thing, and it may be weird. I didn't watch a lot of Game Chasers, but you worked on it. Yeah, I didn't. There was even the first time they sat me down in front of the camera to do kind of a thing, they said you have to basically restate the question. And I'm like, okay. So I started doing it. And I remember Jay was laughing because he was like, he doesn't know how this works. And I'm like, no. Why would I watch the show when I can just, if I want to hang out with you guys, I can just hang out with you guys? Like, why would I watch the show? I mean, I watched enough of the show to get an idea of what the show was, but I didn't think about, oh, this is the part of the show where this happens, or, I didn't know. So I apologize for my lack of Game Chaser knowledge. I literally was doing it to help a guy's film. That's it. I mean, that was really the extent of my work on the show. And again, if I wanted to talk to either one of them, I would just talk to them. I didn't need to watch a show. Which is, I don't know. I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't know. I just don't know. Excuse me. I need to finish this off, actually. I don't need to be drinking tea too late. In fact, that might already be too late. 9:30 and I'm still drinking tea. It's not good. Did I miss any butt stuff? No. It's actually spelled 8-Bit Tacos. It's actually spelled BWUTT. But actually there's no official spelling. But that's what I came up with, I guess. Or somebody came up with it. I don't know who. It may have been me. You would know better than me. I found the guys like season 5-ish, I think. Favorite Daniel Day-Lewis character? I'm a Bill the Butcher man myself. He has the best quotes. I mean, probably. But I think his best performance, in my opinion, that I've seen now. There's some movies, like I never saw My Left Foot, I don't think. There's probably others that I haven't seen. But to me, when I think of Daniel Day-Lewis, I think of There Will Be Blood. And how he just, like I'd seen him in other movies. Of course, I've seen Gangs of New York, Last of the Mohicans, all that kind of stuff. But to me, he disappears into that character in There Will Be Blood. He's so good in that. And I just think that I got to see that movie in the theater like opening weekend. What a great movie. And again, Paul Thomas Anderson is just, I really like his movies. I still haven't seen The Master or The Phantom Thread. Those are two that are kind of on my watch list. I want to see those. And I need to see Punch Drunk Love again. Even though I'm not a huge Adam Sandler fan, this is not an Adam Sandler type performance. I want to see it again, and I want to try to see it with fresh eyes. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Rufus said, before I had balls to chat and make nerd friends, I used to just put on seasons of The Guys and play games. It was like having people. They made me realize you guys existed. Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, and I think that goes for any long-lasting show or whatever. I mean, I feel like, I mean, you could probably, Bucho or Cosma or Bonobo Juice, when he's here, could probably tell you better than I could about the way that it felt as, with Switched On back in the day. Because I think that show, a side effect of doing that show is that we became a part of people's routine. and we became a part of people's lives that way. And it was a weird, beautiful thing that none of us really planned for or expected. But I just remember on our farewell show, which ended up not being our farewell show, but I remember hearing from a lot of people that we'd never heard from before, you know, and hearing the stories of how much our show affected them positively in so many different ways. You know, I mean, that to me, that is so beautiful. And it's a, again, we didn't set out to do that, but it was a side effect of doing it. And it became this really beautiful thing. And it's why I became such a fan of feedback and of the fans. And that's one of the things that when I kind of came into the Game Chaser fold, you know, doing camera stuff. And that's really it. I didn't do any editing. I watched him edit a couple of episodes and I mean, briefly. It's not like I sat the whole time. Okay, edit the entire show, please go. And begin. Go. I didn't do that. But I did watch, and so that was interesting. And it was interesting to see like, I always watched the episodes that I filmed because I wanted to see what he chose and when, and how he would use certain shots that I did as basically background for the vocal, or for the dialogue that was happening about whatever was going on, you know, this flea market or this game or whatever. And I found that really interesting. And it made me, the more that I watched it, and again, the more that I watched what he used for what I did, it informed me as to what to film on future episodes and what to focus on and try to be there for, because so many things happen so fast that you don't, and you know, a lot of times what would happen is one would go this way and one would go that way. And I'm like, I have one camera, guys. What do I do? And I'm only one person. What do I do? So I would follow one, and then sometimes the other one would be like, hey, come over here and see this. And then I'd go over there with the camera and start focusing on stuff. So it was really interesting to see that process. And I still love that. Like, seriously, it's the shot that I loved so much that I did with, and it was one of those things with an unspoken thing. And it's when Jay asked for something behind the counter, and I'm sitting there filming it, and the guy's like, yeah, I got these. And then all of a sudden Billy's like, what the hell? And he just looks at me, and I just focused on that, and I just filmed the whole thing. And he's like, all right, thanks. And then you see Jay walk out of frame, and then Billy's just still standing there looking at me. And I just kind of moved the camera in slowly. And then Billy's like, hey man, what the hell? You know? And it was just a perfect moment. And he said, dude, I was so hoping you would just keep the camera, like, you wouldn't follow me. You would let me walk out of frame. And he said, you got it. Like, that was one of those instinctive things. And I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that I lived for. As far as like when I was filming for them, is to try to capture moments like that. And again, I mean, really, honestly, the same with Adventures. Making Billy happy about something that happened was the best feeling, you know? So yeah, it's like, it's great stuff. It's great. Like, I mean, I can take credit for this moment in Adventures in Game Chasing, is when Dave pops up in between them, and he's like, yeah, guys, what's up? You know, and because he was like, we were sitting there blocking the scene and trying to figure out, okay, how does Dave get from this side of the thing to over there? And I said, well, he should just pop up in between them like he's a cartoon character. And Billy was like, oh, that's genius. Do it. Let's do it. And afterward he said, that's the kind of stuff that I want you to be thinking about. I mean, of course, do your job, you know, as script supervisor, but it was like I was almost a secondary director, like a second director, or assistant director. I don't know what you call it. It's not really assistant director, But it was like it was like a co-director kind of. Because even Dave blocked some of the scenes. So in a lot of ways, we were all kind of helping each other and just kind of like trying to figure out the best way to do something, which is what filming a movie is all about. But yeah, it was really cool to be able to come up with some of those ideas. But that's the one that I'm most proud of because it's the one that got the biggest reaction from Billy. And then of course the in the Funhouse? I guess it is a funhouse. Where out of nowhere Jay goes, bunch of savages in this town. I said, you should say bunch of savages in this town. And he went, yeah. Because I mean, again, we're being referential and there are definitely things which are like, yeah, but we don't want to just do them. We didn't want to just have them like say the thing like 37. Like you wouldn't just say that for no reason. It has to work in the story, you know? And that was one of those that it was something that we always used to say at Blockbuster. Like, man, I can't believe, look at this. Look at this new release wall. Look at how bad it is. And I know, and the other guy would go, yeah, bunch of savages in this town. And it was funny. It was one of those things that fit in the moment. And so that was one of those things that fit in the moment. And it wasn't like I was sitting there deliberating on it all day. It was a thing that came up in the moment as things were being figured out. And that's the beautiful thing about making a movie is you never know where that inspiration is going to come from. And the great thing about writing is it's exactly the same way. I might have bullet point. Okay, this happens, then this character does this character has to say this, and then this happens. And as you're writing it, suddenly something, oh my God, I have a different way to get to this point, to this bullet point that's so much better. And it's one of the things that, you know, like Billy and I, you know, we worked a lot on the Chucklehead script that way. And it was really fun. And it's the best part. It's the best part. It's pure. Movies are pure creation. But at the same time, anything that's on the page, and that's the thing that everyone should keep in mind. Well, it's impossible. It's impossible. It's kind of like telling a 15-year-old, "Hey man, enjoy your youth, enjoy this time." Because you don't know how good you've got it right now. And all of them are like, yeah, whatever, old man or whatever. And they don't appreciate what they have. It's the exact same thing. I can't tell you that you should have respect for filmmakers and that you should have respect for that process and how when everything goes perfectly, it's magical. It's amazing. And the fact that there's so many movies out there that every person working on it busted their ass to try to get to this point. And guess what? The movie at the end of the day, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't come together. And it's sometimes it's through it could be just a bad decision that sets up something, a bad editing thing. There's so many things that can go wrong. So when a movie works, it's amazing. And it's great stuff, you know? And yeah, you can do the best thing that you can, but sometimes you get a movie, you know, that just doesn't come together. So anyway, I've ranted enough on that. Let's go back and see what you guys are talking about, because probably what you said has nothing to do with what I was talking about. Robert said, I'm 45. Oh, that's probably because I was talking about how I'm older than you are and Home Alone's not my thing. It's a thing. Are you a fan of Full House? That was also after my time. And I always thought Bob Saget was just this cheesy comedian guy. I didn't realize that he was like super, like his actual stand-up was super dirty until later. And then it was actually like, wow, he's kind of funny. You can create good art entertainment, which is just two interesting people talking to each other, but it doesn't matter how clever your plot is if the characters don't resonate. I mean, look, Bucho, everybody. Bucho. Excellent. Excellent comment. It's much smoother now. But again, it almost tastes like two separate things still. Like blueberry syrup is over here on this part of the, it's almost like a page and there's a line, like a separator, right? and there's blueberry syrup, and there's Odie cereal. And then you take that and you dip it in and you eat it. And it's like, yeah, it tastes like fruity. It doesn't taste like a cohesive. Does that make sense? I don't know. George Carlin's mall bit was great, and it's a written piece. Every word was thought out perfectly. Dude, the man has so much of that. It's insane. When he rattles off some of those uh they're almost like set pieces. They're jokes that are kind of long, and they have pitch perfect pacing and wording and everything. That man was an oratorical genius. Oratorical genius. The man was good. The man was really good. It's super smart. Ford Fairlane has Wayne Newton and Robert Englund playing the villains. Do it's worth it just for them. Ed Al Bundy O'Neill is in it too. Like Robert Englund was good as Freddy, but I don't know. New Nightmare is the meta one where the actors play themselves. Oh, I don't know what it is then. I don't know what I'm thinking about. What is the plot of Before Sunrise? An American dude and a French chick hang out and chat, and yet it's plenty gripping for over 101 minutes. At least it was in my early 20s. Dude, that movie's still good. Because I watched it recently when I got the Before trilogy. I mean, I think most people, I mean, it kind of resonates depending on where you are in life. But Before Sunrise is fantastic. But I mean, honestly, all of them are good, but Sunrise is my favorite. It's just really good. I like Bill Hicks, similar to Carlin. His stuff doesn't get outdated. I mean, you're not wrong, Lou. I mean, I am the guy with a Bill Hicks action figure, so which you can't. I mean, you can kind of see it. It's right there. Yeah. Oh, and there's for who what was his name? There's some of my vape stuff. There's my Adventures in Game Chasing, or my Game Chasers movie hat. There's some more extra vapes. There's some Star Wars stuff. There's some more vapes. There's my Link, which, you know, Zelda's down here and Link's up here. And then there's my Nine Inch Nails Closure. Very rare. 2 VHS set of videos. And I think it's kind of like a concert video. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then what is that? Oh, that's my Joker up there. I had to move my Joker to make room for the Ghost Getter 1, GG1. And then there's my there's a collection of there's some records up there, and there's some graphic novels and stuff. What else? Oh, and you can see part of the shelf down here. You can see it's not that interesting. So there you go. There you go. I mean, that's pretty close. Maybe when I say story for me is more so the whole idea and not really how they tie it together. Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's all important. You know, that's why, you know, my tripod or table with 3 legs. One is story, one is character, and one is the technical side. And the technical is what I include for cinematography, music, editing, all the technical side, the effects or whatever, right? Because there can be I mean, all of those things can go wrong, but I don't think they're all as equally as important. Like, for example, if the story is really, or there are times when I will forgive a story problem or a character problem or whatever if something else is really good. Inception is a great example of a movie that doesn't really have deep characters at all. But to me, the movie almost makes up for it. In fact, for me, it does work. That movie works for me. I love that movie so much. But it's very, very light on character. And the story is definitely more intricate. And then, of course, you've got the effects. You've got the music is just... Hans Zimmer's score there is so pitch perfect. The cinematography is great. The editing's great. Everything about that movie is fantastic. But I feel like the characters are a little lacking. But I still love it. So it's just, it's I don't know. That's why I don't think that that theory is perfect. For a while, it seemed to really work, but then Inception, there are certain movies that just break that completely. You know, Blade Runner is another example of you've got a really cool, amazing world building, but the characters are kind of weird. It's not, to me. There's still some editing issues, which is why like a lot of people think it's slow. It works for me because I love everything else about it, but I feel like the pacing, there's something about it that's not. I'm not an editor by trade or anything, so I can't tell you what I would fix or if I could fix it. Um, but there's something with the editing in that movie that's a little off to me. Um, but I think the story's great, and I think the characters are pretty great too. But anyway, I'm not sure whatever you're working on, Rob. The book and the movie will be out before Winds of Winter. I mean, the plan is I've already worked out the entire first story. I know. I'll tell you this: the story is big enough to warrant multiple sequels and a prequel. The prequel is a backstory for the characters. And the prequel, I already have almost the entire, that is almost all planned out. And it was almost immediate. Like I had the entire story mapped up in minutes. And it is tragic and it's dramatic. And it's, to me, I think about that and I'm like, that one is going to be, I love it. But I don't know if it's going to make an entire story. So what I'm thinking is that what I'll work on if this first book works for me, instead of trying to do Kickstarter or do any sort of fan funding or anything like that. Number one, my fan base is tiny. I'm not going to be able to do what I want to do with a fan base that's tiny. And it's nothing against you guys, but it's just, I mean, it's just the nature of the thing. I mean, I have less than 5,000 subscribers. That ain't going to cut it, right? Not for what I want to do. So I'm going to send it out to agents. I'm going to go traditional on this, and I'm not going to do the Amazon print to whatever. No, I want to do it. I want to try it and see what happens. I may get rejected and it may not work at all and it may never go anywhere. And at that point, I probably would do the Amazon whatever. But it's just like an independent film. If you don't market the thing, if you don't get a powerhouse marketing company behind you, it doesn't matter how good your story is, and it doesn't matter how good your movie is. If no one knows about it, it doesn't matter. Adventures, I think, is a pretty good, again, everybody's got their opinion. All right, some people really love it, some people hate it. I think it's a good 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's a fantastic first movie, in my opinion. It's a really, really good first movie. There's a lot of heart in it, and you can tell there was passion put into it. And I think that the movie, for the most part, works. I think it's a good 6.5, 7 out of 10. With that in mind, it sucks that we had $0 for promotion. Because, the Game Chasers fans knew about it. But again, that's a drop in the bucket. It's not like the Game Chasers had, 7 million subscribers. They had probably 140 at the time? Something like that. So, yeah. How good the movie can do is limited. So I want to shoot for the moon. And I don't know if I'll get there. But while I'm doing that whole thing about getting it to a publisher, getting to an agent or whatever, before that point, I'm going to start the sequel. Because one of the things that I've kind of picked up on is that you want to constantly have ideas. You want to say, hey, do you like the first 2 chapters of this book? Well, it's interesting because I'm already working on the second one. Or I'm almost done with the second one. Or whatever, depending on where they are in the process. But I definitely think I have a good idea here. And I think it's a It's an idea that could turn into any number of things. It could turn into a movie series. It could turn into a TV series. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, do the first one, see how that works, and if I'm happy with it, I'll send it off, and then I'll immediately start working on the sequel. And then if I ever get to a point where I'm like, I want to do like a short story, well, I'll do the prequel, because I don't think the prequel is big enough of a story to warrant a full novel. But we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? Because I don't know. But hopefully, yes, Lou. Hopefully it will, be a thing. And hopefully it'll be good. Great example of character over story is Dinner with Andre. Never saw it. Never saw it. Is that Harry Dean Stanton? And Wallace Shawn. Wait. It's 2 hours of Andre Gregory sitting and talking over dinner. It mostly boils down to Andre Gregory saying something. Then Wallace says, "Oh, it's not that that one. There's one shot there, just me looking at it real quick. It looked like Harry Dean Stanton, but no, I've never seen it. And that's another one. That's another one. I know that's in the Criterion Collection. Never saw it. You need to finish that show, KP Senti. Yeah, you do. What, Game Chasers? Robert says, I've seen every episode. And again, that's one of those things where it's like, I can appreciate the work that they did, but guys, I'm not a gamer. I'm not the same kind of guy. I mean, I came back into the fold to help them make a movie. And then while we were trying to make the next one, I was like, apparently you guys need a cameraman. Well, I can probably do that, maybe. And then turns out I was the one that, like, from the first video I filmed for them, they were like, yeah, you're good at this. I was like, okay. So I recently picked up Pompeii. It's now one of 2 movies Paul W.S. Anderson's that I like. Second to Event Horizon, rip Sam Neill. Yeah, Sam Neill is fantastic. Event Horizon, though, I watched it somewhat recently, like in the last 3 years or so. And I was like, I remember seeing it when it came out, and I remember thinking, I don't like this. There are things I like about it, but overall, it just doesn't come together for me. I watched it again, and I went, it still didn't come together for me. But oh well, I'm glad you like it. I'm a huge Game Chaser fan. Haven't rewatched lately due to the drama souring the magic of the show. I mean, that is a thing. Yeah, it's definitely a thing. And again, I apologize if I've contributed to that in any way. I apologize. Okay. The only thing I can do is say that, we tried to make things not about that. But Stowfalk said I haven't watched the show in like a year. The one where Billy buys from the guy, Jay asks again to the same guy, and he gets even more games cheaper? Yes, Ninjinzu. Yes. Was there anything more to the watch out for skeletons bit than just having a random funny payoff at the end? No, I think it was... No, that was it. And it's the same thing with the spider. The spider is one of those things where it's so goofy. And it's one of the things that Melvor hated. Like, he hated the idea of the spider was so stupid to him. But that's the kind of thing that it's one of the things that like everybody else seemed to really love. Now, I don't know. Honestly, I'm too close to it now. I'm too close to it to really gauge whether that really worked or not. But I always thought the spider is goofy, stupid fun. Like, and that movie is supposed to be goofy, stupid fun with a little bit of heartfelt moments in it. That's really what the movie is. It's a good time with your friends and, but the heartfelt stuff is what got me into saying, I need to do this. It's because I know what he's going for here. And I know the kind of moment, and again, and it's really bittersweet now knowing, you know, unfortunately Billy's not with us anymore. But that moment at the end when he turns that NES over and he sees that message from his grandpa, it's just, and the music that Martin did was just so perfect. Billy's performance there is perfect, you know? And it's just, it brings it all together. And that right there, the moment on the couch when they're talking about the grandfather, I mean, it's like all of those moments were the moments that made me go, yes, I get there's goofy stuff that happens in this movie, you know? And no, I don't know if I would have said, you know what we need? We need the map to be on Eric's bare ass. I think we need that. I wouldn't have done that. Not what if I was writing the movie, that wouldn't have even it wouldn't have even occurred to me. But it wasn't my movie, and that's why I was really focused on trying to make sure that everything that they wanted happened. And I was trying to really think about the hardest part is that everything was filmed out of order. And I was trying to keep in my head, because I knew Billy was overwhelmed. I mean, Billy was definitely overwhelmed being a director on its own. Then he was also having to learn his lines and work in the group and all that kind of stuff. And that's why there are things in the movie that, in my opinion, don't quite work. And I think it's because everybody's being pulled in 15 different directions, and we don't have any time. So it was shot really, really fast. So there are things in my mind I look at it and I go, yeah, that scene doesn't really come together for me. But what I was trying to do is make sure that they got all the stuff that they wanted to get. And unfortunately, there was stuff that got cut out. We had to, work really quickly. But yeah, the skeletons thing was just another one of those goofy things. Billy came up with it, and it was like, yeah, we should have that. And then filming all the stuff that we filmed out at Mineral Wells, Billy and I drove out there and filmed some of the falling and stuff like that. There were some shots that we filmed that were basically like second unit type stuff where there's not an actor in the shot, but it's establishing things. So that was where I think a lot of the movie got made, is in shooting some of that second unit stuff that it may not seem super important on the day, like during like principal photography, but all that stuff is super important to telling the story and making the story work. And so it was really fun to spend so much time with him figuring out where his head was at and stuff. And like, there are multiple shots in the movie where it's me driving the truck, or it's, like I'm in that movie so many times. It's ridiculous. And it's just because I was the one that was there, and I was helping him do all this stuff. And it was like, I want to make sure that this movie gets made and is perfect, like as perfect as we can make it. So Bucho said, I want to watch the Before series again at some point. Just so much new to me stuff to check out. And that's the problem. And that's also the issue with collecting, is that like most of the 4Ks that I have, most of them that are on that shelf, I've only watched once, and will probably never get around to watching again. So it's like, does it really make sense for me to be spending the money to own? If you're a fan of this movie, I apologize, but I'll probably never watch Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, Sam Peckinpah's movie with, Chris Christopherson and James Coburn and Bob Dylan. I'll probably never watch that movie again. But I bought the 4K because I was excited about seeing multiple versions of the film. It just didn't, it's weird. But it's like, I want to go through Dune and Dune Part 2 again before Dune 3. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do that, but I kind of want to do that. But I've only seen Dune, the first Dune, like 3 or 4 times. And I've only seen Dune 2, I think 3 times. And I love those movies like so much. You can't even understand how much I love those movies. I love them so much, but I just haven't watched them that much. Ever watched the animated '07 version of Beowulf? So underrated. I like Beowulf, but it was also one of those where it made me realize that I wasn't as big of a fan of course the animation style of it is a little it's definitely dated now, but it's even back then it felt very uncanny, and then I realized, you know what? I don't know if I like this story very much. I mean, like, it's a classic story and all that kind of stuff, but I mean, it's not for me. I'll just say that. You Want Your Name in the Song of Beowulf. The voice acting in that movie was amazing. There you go. I mean, it's just not for me. And Shozama, welcome, sir. Good to see you. Just finished reading the Odyssey. I want the Odyssey 97 in Blu-ray. I am fairly certain that I did watch that whole thing. Armand Asante, I remember like looking at pictures and stuff because that's come up a lot in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty certain that I saw that. But the Odyssey is another one where I like the movie and I want to see it again. I don't know if it's a movie that I'll own. I don't know if it's a movie I'll watch again. I don't know. I was talking to Billy after watching the movie, and I told him the characters at the Tesseract felt like John Waters characters, which I meant as a compliment. He looked at me completely deadpan and said, "Who the F is John Waters?" Yeah, John Waters is, man, talk about an acquired taste. I am not. John Waters makes movies on a level that I am not on. Like, I've only seen a couple of movies that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but I've only seen a couple, and those are not for me. Like, John Waters is not for me. Now, I also thought for the longest time that David Lynch wasn't for me. And maybe I need that one, that keystone movie to kind of unlock John Waters. But everything I've seen, the stuff that I've seen of John Waters, it's just not for me. It's too weird. It's just not for me. So. And Lou retracted his message. How dare he? My favorite version of Beowulf is the 13th Warrior. Production hell, butchered in the edit, but I still love it. The characters are so good. I think I saw the 13th Warrior. If it's the one that I'm thinking of. That's the Antonio Banderas one, right? Yeah, not for me. Didn't like it. But again, there's so many movies in that whole genre of sword and sandal type movie. Just don't like it. I just don't like it. It's not my thing. Everyone knows the real Billy the Kid is Young Guns. Yeah. Oh. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Like, the Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid thing was cool because I was really into Bob Dylan. And I say was. I still like Bob Dylan is a weird, like, I shouldn't like Bob Dylan. Or Neil Young. Like, those are two artists that I never thought I would say, yeah, I like that music. I like it. But I do. And I really thought Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid was really going to hit for me. Man, it so did not. So did not. So, you never know. But yeah, Billy the Kid, I probably think of Young Guns too, even though I've only seen, I don't know if I've ever seen Young Guns all the way through. Because I remember things from the movie, but I've never owned it. And I have the DVD of Young Guns 2 because my wife owned it. But I don't know if I've ever seen that. So, there you go. Anyone remember Rough Riders? Used to watch that a lot as a kid. No. Favorite John Waters movie has Edward Furlong in it. It's called Pecker. Yeah, I never saw it. I know I know that movie simply because at the same time there was a kids movie called Big and Hairy. And so when those two movies would get returned together at Blockbuster, we all had a laugh. Ah, Big and Hairy Pecker. Ah. You know, and it's like, okay. And then that turned into a game of what movie is a regular movie but sounds like it could be a porn. And sure, there are some of those that are like absolutely obvious, you know, but it's the ones that aren't obvious that ended up being kind of funny. So just take that with, you know, what you will. Have you ever? Oh, Style Fox is bringing up Old Henry again, asking Lou if he's seen it. I haven't seen that one. If you ever go home with somebody and they don't have books in their house, don't sleep with them. John Waters said that. Well, there you go. There you go. Guess no one will sleep with me then. Well, sorry, Ricky. But don't worry, I don't need to sleep with you. It's fine. 13th Warrior is a movie I would love to see with bigger budget. The casting was amazing. No, I haven't seen Old Henry. Vinny C says, I'm just here to get This Isn't Minecraft in before he switches to Discord. Well, it's 10:05, which means it's Discord time. It's Discord time. Bucho said, as a Pearl Jam fan, how did the stuff they did with Neil Young back in the 90s hit you? Bucho, I mean, that's a great question. I loved it. But I was still, like, when they did that Rockin' in the Free World thing on like the MTV Music Awards or whatever, I was sitting there going, this is amazing. I love this so much. But I'd always kind of had it in my head that Neil Young and Bob Dylan were just not going to be for me. And I think it's because, I don't remember if it was my dad or my mom, but one of them didn't like him. And one of them was like, both of them suck. And so I always had it in my head that they sucked. But then I listened to it and I was like, pretty good. Movie High Club, look, dude, I appreciate you and I really do, but we're wrapping up the show. You don't come in at the end of the show and ask for the top 5 bad sequels and the top 3 good prequels. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. Let's see. Probably the 2 John Waters movies you might have seen was Hairspray and Cry Baby with Johnny Depp. No Pink Flamingos. I think I saw Pink Flamingos, and I think I might have seen Cry Baby. I don't remember though. I appreciate it, Movie High Club, but yeah, it's like we're wrapping things up. Top 50 bad sequels. No, Vinny. No. Lou said summer reading list, 8th grade. I read Lonesome Dove and it completely changed my outlook on books. Yet to find a better Western. Well, Lou, maybe. Just maybe. Just maybe I'll be able to switch things around for you. One good shark movie. Well, there's only one good shark movie in my mind. Jaws. But there you go. I just got here as well. Let's go have our own stream called No Robs. Vinny, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Space Jam 2, Home Alone 3, 4, 5, and Blade 3. Well, there you go. Top 20 pinch and rolls. 10 fins. What's your favorite movie? Okay. KP Senti, I don't have a favorite movie. It's so... What's your favorite dish? I don't know. Oh, I can tell you probably. It's probably the club from Jersey Mike's. Done. I mean, easy. But favorite movie, I mean, like what mood am I in? It's like, it's so different, you know? Like, sometimes I think Shawshank Redemption is the best movie of all time. Sometimes I think it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sometimes I think it's Jaws. Sometimes I think it's freaking Fellowship of the Ring. Sometimes I think it's Empire Strikes Back. I mean, what mood am I in? Who knows? Is Leo better than Johnny Depp? Yes. Easy question. I honestly like Leo's performances more than Johnny Depp. I think Johnny Depp is a super talented actor, but he's got a ceiling. I think Leo, I don't know if we've seen his ceiling yet. He has done some things that I'm shocked at how good. Like, it to me, if you want to see, you know what? We never went into the movies that I watched this week either. We're gonna have to wait till next week on that one. But the performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, when he's talking with the little girl, and the little girl is telling things, and she's like this, like she's like learning to be an actress and all this kind of thing. His performance in that scene is, I love it. I love it so much. I love it. But that's just me. I got it. Probably got to try the club from Jersey Mike's. You got to get it Mike's way too. To me, regular white bread, Subway Club, not the roast beef one, the turkey, ham, bacon. Get it exactly the way they do. You want the mayonnaise and bacon? You go, F you for even asking me that question. Of course you put that stuff on there. You put it on there, Mike's way, and make it snappy. Like let's. Oh, do you want all whatever Mike's way is? Mayonnaise and bacon. Put it on there, bitch. That's what you say. Even if it's a dude, that's what you say. But I don't usually use that term. But it needs. I mean, this is a look. You get that sandwich, and you tell me that's not one of the best things on the planet. Now I know there's gonna be people like, oh, I like the I don't. The Italian is the way to go. Well, I'm not a big gabagool kind of guy. Give me turkey, ham, and bacon, man. But I'm just saying, I think that the club is the best sandwich on the menu. And also, first of all, offensive. Sorry, Vinny. But no, I also love the like the hot sandwiches too. I think their cheesesteaks are really good. They're not the best cheesesteak I've ever had, but I mean, what I love about those cheesesteaks is how much food you get for how and protein for very little fat and calories. It's a really it's a smart sandwich if you're watching your weight. Like you're not sacrificing taste, which is one of the things that I love about Jersey Mike's. The club, however, isn't, it's not for the I mean, it's kind of fattening with all the olive oil and vinegar and stuff. It's pretty fattening. So then get one. No, it's 10 o'clock at night. Coupon the movie. You got to try the club. I do like fried chicken. Fried chicken's good. The Big Kahuna. I mean, look, the Big Kahuna's good, man. Like I said, I think the hot sandwiches are badass. Jimmy John's is one of those where after, I mean, I had Jersey Mike's first. Then I had Jimmy John's, and it's like Jimmy John's feels more like I could have made that sandwich. Like Jersey Mike's, I can't do as well as Jersey Mike's. Like Jimmy John's just doesn't have that yeah, I don't know. It's good. Is Brad Pitt better than Leo in that movie? Not in my opinion. I think Leo's better. I mean, Brad Pitt won for best supporting, but dude, that's tough because I love Brad Pitt in that too. The number 13, is that what the club is? I can't remember. I think Leo's best movie is Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, fantastic performance for sure. But Departed was pretty good though. No, Departed's good. But to me, I mean, I agree. Wolf of Wall Street is really good. But I think, let me think. What's my favorite Leo performance? Dude, it may be Gilbert Grape. If you haven't seen Gilbert Grape, if you're a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio, you need to see What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He is not Leonardo DiCaprio in that movie. It is insane. He was so good that I literally thought he was mentally challenged. I did not think he was an actor, just an actor. It is insane. Johnny Depp is great in it. Juliette Lewis, it's probably my favorite Juliette Lewis performance. So real. And Mary Steenburgen is great. I mean, the movie is amazing. But it's a slice of life kind of movie. It's a melodrama. But my God, what an amazing performance. Like seriously, I was like, man, I really like this movie. And I wonder how that mentally challenged kid is going to get work after this. And when I found out that it was that was just a performance, it blew my freaking mind. Now, I mean, it's hard now because that's Leonardo DiCaprio, but you got to think, when I saw that movie, I'd never heard of Leonardo DiCaprio before. It was the first movie I'd ever seen with him. So I was gobsmacked. I watched it because I like Johnny Depp. But man, so good. But again, I don't know if that's going to work now because that's Leo DiCaprio. It's weird. Revenant is good. Not my favorite though. Oh, dude, Ninjinzu Quiznos. Dude, that freaking what is it? The mesquite chicken? I love that thing. And look at this. Now it's 10:15. Basketball Diaries, good movie. Good movie. But Gilbert Grape, like, seriously, it shook my world figuring out that he was just a kid. Does Quiznos still exist? There are a handful of them left. I think I have one. There used to be one like everywhere. It was kind of like, it wasn't as bad as Starbucks, but man, Quiznos was everywhere. There's only one in Dallas Fort Worth now. So, I don't know. You saw him first in Growing Pains? Yeah, I didn't watch Growing Pains. Yeah, not too many of them anymore. He Was Young Mark was better in that movie than some of his new movies that's when he was good to me. Wolf has to be one of the best. He made that movie great. I mean, the movie's great anyway. That movie's just a good movie. I'd have to sit and think about what my favorite Scorsese movie is, but that one's got to be up there. Because I'm one of those people that I like Goodfellas, but it's not his best movie. I think Wolf of Wall Street's better than Goodfellas. My opinion. I just wish Schlotsky's Deli was back to pre-2020 prices. So pricey now. I haven't been to Schlotsky's since. In fact, I think the last time I went to Schlotsky's was before the pandemic. I used to love Schlotsky's because it was something that we used to get all the time. And then when they started making pizzas, it was like, man, these are pretty good. Cece's, I haven't been to Cece's in a long time. Did you like The Irishman? I hated it. Not a fan. Too long and old man kicking. There was a lot of things I didn't like it. Hot take, I hate Godfather. I love The Godfather, but yeah, I mean, it's the thing. I always thought Schlotsky's was dessert only. No, I mean, it's the thing about Schlotsky's is you have to be able to tolerate sourdough bread. If you don't like sourdough bread, don't go to Schlotsky's. April hates it. She won't even step foot in that place because it's sourdough bread and she doesn't like sourdough. But I love sourdough. In fact, I love all kinds of different kinds of bread. I love sourdough. And yeah, it's great. And now it's 10:16. Oh, it keeps going. Potbelly's pretty good. But I haven't been to Potbelly since before the pandemic too. We should start a food podcast. I mean, we could do it. Those movies are too long, too much dialogue. Dude, I love it. I love it. And now it's 2027. Well, all right, let's cut it off. Moving to the Discord. Any of you who are in the Discord and want to hang out, let's hang out. Let's hang out and chat and talk about whatever is going to come up. Ninjinzu and Rufus are already in there.
I didn't mean to. I know.
What's up, guys? Turning on the camera. And y'all can't hear him because I got it muted. There he goes.
You would have me muted.
But anyway, I'm muting that for a second just so I can say bye. Guys, have a great one. Have a nice week, buddy, and chat as well. Hey, Movie High Club, thank you, man. Just come in earlier, man. Like, the only thing is now we do the news at the beginning. But see, like, we got to talking so much that I never even talked about the movies I watched this week. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 movies. We're going to have to wait till next week. Tell them to buy my movies. Hey, everybody go look at Vinny's movies and freaking buy them, okay? Jeez. Martin Scorsese's most underrated is Hugo. I mean, that's a take. I don't really... Hugo's okay. But I think his most underrated is Silence. I think that movie is good. And I'm not even religious. It's a good movie. Blu-ray 4K ProRes. I don't know what you're talking about. But it's okay, Movie High Club. Just, there you go. Y'all have a great one. thanks for being here. Of course, tomorrow I'm going to see Brand New Day, Spider-Man, as he is lovingly called in this house. I'm so excited. So, yeah, review tomorrow night, and then yeah. Okay, bye. Still. Yeah, Benny, go watch Spider-Man, dang it. I'm excited. Woo! Man, feel these nipples.